Is up, super fam and bro vengers alike? I am Sensei Finito, aka Main Sensei, and today we are going to be checking out some of the final I don't think this is the final chapter, but we doing From Watcher to Reader episode 8, baby. This is season 4. Man, it's long overdue, but life has been crazy. Stuff has been going on and happening. But man, I'm trying to finish this series and get it all done and set, especially before we get into the second quarter this year, because I want to get some other stuff popping on the From Watcher to Reader channel, and that's going to be happening very soon. So make sure y'all are ready for all of those good things that's going to be happening very soon. If you haven't already, make sure you drop a like and a share on the stream here on the tube. If you're watching from Twitch, if you're watching on my Twitch channel, I appreciate you as well. Make sure you guys tap in. I'm trying something new with my Twitch channel, basically multi-stream and all the stuff that I do here on Marvel Bros, and just kind of streaming a little bit of everything. So expect a lot more content on my Twitch channel, my personal Twitch channel, and then we're gonna be getting it cracking here. Okay, so like I said, on today's show, we're gonna be continuing our From Watcher to Reader season 4 as we continue our journey through the Wheel of Time, the Shadow Rising. So we're going to be diving back into the story, covering chapters 43 through 48 as parent situation in the Two Rivers continues to escalate. All right, the White Tower faces a massive shift in power, and Rand continues quietly cooking whatever mysterious plan he's got going on. If you've been rocking with us for the while, you already know book club has been on a bit of a hiatus, like I was talking about. But today we are officially back and locking in to finish the book. Okay, once we wrap up the Shadow Rising, From Watcher to Reader will be moving completely over to its own dedicated YouTube channel, so we can give the series the space it deserves. And that channel is already in the works, and the videos will start coming out very soon. So stay tuned for that, and I'll get that link for you as well here for the From Watcher to Reader channel if you're not subscribed already. We do have a video on there right now, and we're going to be having some more videos and clips and shorts and all of that are going to be coming out over there. So you're definitely going to want to tune in. Excuse me. You're going to want to tune in. And then these as well should be linked to the From Watcher to Reader channel. So once this live is like over, I usually link everything, back to that. So you guys will be able to still vibe out and tune in over there. Okay. I know this is mad early from the time that we usually do From Watcher to Reader, but Wednesdays I'm doing Comic Book Clubhouse and stuff as well. So I'm trying to see how I can tackle this and see maybe if I gotta shift this to a new day or or something like that, just because I know this time may be hard for everybody to show up to bright and early. But again, my main focus is getting this book done on the channel right now as well, because I know that it's been a long time coming. It's been a long time coming, and I think I have all the other From Watcher to Reader scheduled for the rest of this month as well, because we do have one more episode that will be focused on the book, and then the final episode will be the overall book review. So I'm hoping to move this from Wednesday to maybe like Thursday evening or something like that. I'm not entirely sure what to do there just yet, but like I said, I got From Watcher to not From Watcher to Reader. I have the live coverage at Comic Book Clubhouse later today. Oh snap. So that's something that I'm gonna be focusing on getting into and locking in as well. It's just been it's been a busy time. You know what I'm saying? It's been a busy time, and I know a lot of you guys are probably going to be watching on the replay. So to y'all, I apologize that it is very early that we're doing this one, but hopefully next week we'll have it at a normal time, and we don't have to worry about what's it called? We won't have to worry about it being in conflict with the other stuff that's going on. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited to talk about I'm excited to talk about the Wheel of Time today, though. I really enjoyed this segment of the book. Like, I enjoyed it a lot. and my instant reaction that you guys will be able to see on the From Watcher to Reader channel, which I encourage everyone to go and subscribe to. We were talking about in that video. I was just talking about how much I enjoy Perrin, how much I enjoy everything that's happening here, and how much the book is able to continue to show us what Robert Jordan is continuing to show us what he really be up to. For like, that's all I can really say. You know what I mean? Like, he is always 100% showing us like, hey, look at this, check this out. Like, you can see what are his experiences, what aren't, you know, like, bro, it's just so much there, and I love it. I love his writing. I think everybody did such a good job as characters. Like, every character is so, I loved every character's moments in this arc of this segment that we read, chapters 43 through 48. I mean, it was so cool to see Perrin kind of get in his bag a little bit more, not be as timid, not be as nervous about what's going on with with being Lord Perrin now, and having everybody looking up to him the way they were. It was nice, man. It was nice. And Perrin's my favorite character, so the fact that we're getting so much shine on him, it has me in, like, I get happier and happier about it every time I know that we're getting more chapters about him, and seeing him like get into his role of being a true leader and really locking in and not being like too scared, or even in the face of being scared, still doing it. Because I mean, that's what being a real leader is all about. But yeah, man. And we got to finally see the shift at the White Tower that I was kind of waiting for. I did want to see that as well. So we got to see a lot of things here, and it had me pretty I was pretty excited, bro. I can't lie, I was pretty excited. They did such a good job. Okay, let's talk about it. So we're gonna start off with obviously our chat talk section, and like I said, we've just been trying to lock everything down. March has really been a go month for me, especially going into the second quarter of the year. We're really trying to lock things in. That's why the Discord has been shut down up until now as well. I'm hoping that we can bring all of that, just get everything kind of started back up here in March and going into, you know, April as well. Just getting watch parties back cracking the way that they were before, making sure that all of this stuff for you guys is available, for you guys to be able to watch stuff, for you guys to be able to stay up to date with all of this stuff, for us to be able to read all these new books and stuff. And I want to be able to talk about the Brandon Sanderson news, and like how he got that crazy deal with Apple TV to do his stories. I want to talk about all of that type of stuff, you know. And I feel like we having that dedicated channel, even if it's just pumping clips out at first, it'll be really good to just kind of get our footing with that. And I'm hoping to plan out a series of episodes. We should have the entirety of our From Watcher to Reader series that we've done here on Marvel Bros available on that channel in recorded form. Not the same streams, but those instant reactions will be available over there. And then I'm hoping to do that with the rest of Mistborn, which is going to be really good. I know we finished book 1 of Mistborn, so planning on to getting into book 2 and 3 to finish that trilogy off, and then maybe jumping into the Stormlight Archive, as well as finishing this book. There's a lot of different things that I want to do. And I think if we set things up to be like, okay, each quarter we either try to tackle a book, or, you know, try to, you know, split that up in some type of way, it'll be really good. So I'm excited. I'm excited, guys. We got a lot of stuff coming in the form of book club, as well as the other spinoff channels here from Marvel Bros. It's going to be a lot of cool stuff going on. Whether it's reviews or trailer reactions or movie reviews or book club, all of it, live coverage on site. We're going to be doing a bunch of stuff here. And like I said, on Twitch, I'm going to be streaming everything from my platform as well from now on. Hoping to just kind of get a little bit more of that crossover and some of that traction going. So we're live right now on Twitch. What's up with it, everybody over there? No matter where you're tuning in from, definitely appreciate you guys. and I am excited to get into this book. Okay, let's talk about my overall thoughts of this segment. So, like I said at the top, right? We get to see Perrin's situation in the Two Rivers continue to escalate, and we get to see that how the White Tower faces this massive shift in power, and of course, Rand continues to quietly cook whatever mysterious plan that he has going on. And in every single one of those fronts, I enjoyed all of the information that we got to see there. Like all the new information. I feel like this is a big chapter to get some answers, but questions. I guess that's how it is almost every chapter. I feel like every chapter we get so many answers, but also there's more questions raised or concerns or one thing or another. But this was a lot of payoff to a lot of the buildup that we've been getting in the form of these different places that we've been exploring with our main characters and side characters proper. It was very very shocking, some of the things that were going down. I remember just being absolutely surprised about, oh bro, the weight. That's what it is. I think the weight of what was happening here felt the heaviest. There we go. The weight of this section I feel was very heavy. From the start to the finish, it was just like, okay, we have people dying, and people are dead in trolley pots, and they're talking about it, and then Perrin's obviously going through his psych breakdown in a way. Then we get all the stuff with the Tinkers and finding out things around there, and then again more with Perrin being in denial and coming out of that denial, and then we get some stuff with the White Cloaks, and it's just like, damn, these White Cloaks, bro, they gotta get out. They have no chill. They're just straight set tripping. And we also get to see how Perrin doesn't really understand the weight of his own actions that he's taken up until this point. And I feel like maybe that was why these chapters were so heavy for everyone, is because everyone realized the weight of the situation, right? Like that's like whether it was Swan Chan, whether it was Perrin, whether it was Rand or whoever, or again in or Nynaeve or Elaine, everybody really got to get a temperature check and be like, oh yeah, the stakes here are not only high, but they are also dire. And if we don't step correct, if we don't do the right things, if we don't move the right way, it is only going to be bad for everyone else. So we got to really put some more thought into what we're doing here. And I feel like that is something that maybe we'll get to see a lot more of in the second book. What is it, the fifth book that we'll be on after this? Um, there was a lot of POVs in this one as well, from Min to Swanshan, like we were saying, and of course we got Rand's POV. I think we also got Perrin, of course. We got to see Elaine's POV. I think we got a POV from a White Cloak, if I'm not mistaken. So just getting to see so many different perspectives as we're coming to the end of this book as well, it's really ramping up to be this big crescendo, and it's like going to be this big thing that happens, and you can kind of tell all of the things are ramping up to the fullest. I think, like I said, after episode 8, I think we only have one more, and then we're going to be done with this book, if I'm not mistaken. So that's going to be crazy. It's crazy that we're about to be done with the book. Even though it's like we should have been done, it's also crazy that we're not far from being done. Right? Because this is chapter 43 through 48, and then after that, I think we're going from 49 to the end of the book. And that's just going to be crazy, bro. Okay. Let's grab a little drinky drink. It was not frozen, and then when I shook it, the whole thing became Slush. There we go. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, baby. And like I said, we have our comic book clubhouse coverage today later. I'm planning to go live around 5 o'clock, 5 p.m. PST. Again, that stream is also up and ready, so you can go and check it out. And we're gonna be getting it cracking, man. I feel like this last week has been the longest week ever. Honestly, I really do. It feels like the longest week ever, man. From March, what was it? What was last week's date? The 4th or something like that? From March 4th to the 11th. It feels like the longest 7 days that has ever occurred in the history of 7 days. But also daylight savings time happened here in the U.S. of the A. So we have put our clocks forward. So maybe that has something to do with it. But I'm not sure. I don't know how much that actually does have something to do with it, though. Let's see. Where are we at? Let's get back to... Where did it go? Okay. So... Wait, I don't hear me. Hello? Hello, hello? Oh. There we go. There I am. All right. Hello? All right. Bam. Hello? We're good. We're locked. We're locked, cocked, and ready to knock it back. Whoa. Don't need to hear that again. So with all of that being said, ladies and gents and ladies, I appreciate everybody that has tuned in. If you're watching on the replay, hello to you as well. We're going to just kind of get this going and strolling along because I do not want to... Oh, wait. Are we... Oh, I guess we are live vertically. Are we live vertical too? Oh, we are. Did not know that. Cool. Yeah, this YouTube has all these new features and setups. I don't understand them fully. So, hey, it'd be like that. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Ain't nothing to it but to do it, baby. Where is...
Cheese balls, cheese balls, cheese balls. Where the f*** are my cheese balls? So my son, I know where my f***ing cheese balls again. No, I didn't.
Have you ever thought about how it would feel to be one giant sock in the dryer?
No, sorry, I don't think I have.
One sock being left in the dryer would be a bad thing, you know? Forcing its pair to roam lonely without its match. But one giant sock's only match is the foot that will embrace its cozy warmth, fresh out of the dryer, toasty, and never alone.
Shroomy never truly dies, for on the day of my reckoning, I will be reborn as a part of the Hive Mind Collective on Shroom Prime, and all of the weaknesses of your planet will be quickly analyzed, and then the mutation will commence.
Folding and scrunching, scrunching and folding, folding and scrunching, scrunching and folding, folding and scrunching.
I'm Rupert Luther Martins, Senior Executive of the Turtle Club. Here to defend and protect all in need.
I'm standing right here, you itchy. Why the hell you still knocking?
Kid Rock, please help me.
That's free.
A natural selection, 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 a natural selection.
Sure me around, dummy.
All right, now it is time, without further ado, to get into
Chapter 43. Care for the Living.
I mean, the chapter titles send chills down my spine at times because they're just so good. Everything fits together so well. I can't handle it. It's just such a good. Everything flows so well. The flow of these books, these chapters, these titles, it's awesome. And then it's always giving you a little bit of a hint as well as to what you may see or what may occur within that specific chapter. You know what I mean? And I just really enjoy that. I really do enjoy that, Chapter 43, Care for the Living, And of course, we are in none other than Perrin's POV.
Taking Stepper's bridle, Verin led him to the Winespring Inn herself, the crowd melting back to let her through, then falling in after. Daniel and Ban and the others trailed along on horse and afoot, kin mingling with them now. Astounded as they were by the changes in Emmons Field, the lads still showed their pride by striding even if they limped, or sitting up straighter in the saddle. They had faced Trollocs and come home. But women ran their hands over sons and nephews and grandsons, often biting back tears, and their low moans made a soft, pained murmur. Tight-eyed men tried to hide their worries behind proud smiles, clapping shoulders and exclaiming over newly begun beards, yet frequently their hugs just happened to turn into a shoulder to lean on. Sweethearts rushed in with kisses and loud cries, equal parts happiness and commiseration, and little brothers and sisters, uncertain, alternated between fits of weeping and clinging in wide-eyed wonder to a brother everyone seemed to be taking for a hero.
Bruh, oh my goodness. Like, this is something that I know you guys have talked about a lot of the Wheel of Time, the waters out there have told me, like, Robert Jordan does such a good job of portraying that PTSD, that wartime effect, that coming back from war, that sense of I don't really have any control over what's going on. And that's what I feel is happening on full display in this chapter. It's just so sad to see the way that the families are there but don't see their kids, maybe, you know what I mean? And it's just a great showing of his background and the use of it to build a very grounded story within this fantastical like universe, you know what I mean? And just as Perrin hears people asking about different people or different names or just the crowds are looking for people, and he's like, yeah, you're in his head. He's just thinking your son is in a Trolloc crock pot. You know what I mean? Like, he's dead. Like he's getting ate. He's getting eaten by Trollocs right now, and I wasn't really able to do anything to stop it or to save him. That's a lot to be able to carry. That is a lot going on, and it's very sad to see that happen. But it does go to show how good of a leader Perrin truly is, though, right? Like, he is actually a really great leader because of these things that he's thinking about, because of the losses that have happened, and because of how those losses actually are affecting him, and the fact that they are affecting him, right? Like, all of those things I think are really important for him, and for someone who's asking anybody to even ride with them in that way. It's very important to make sure, like, hey man, you should know that this is a possibility to go absolutely south in the fullest way that south could be. And I think Perrin did do a good job of, like, trying to keep everybody rallied, trying to, you know, make sure that those losses weren't in vain, and to see him still be so choked up and still be going through it, it's like, bruh, he's a good leader. But then, of course, enter stage left, it's Luke. And everybody is just ready to take Luke out because Luke just sucks, man. I can't stand this guy. I cannot stand this guy. And of course, my notes are always saying, WTF is up with Luke? Like, what is up with this guy? Like, oh, man. And it was also really cool to see everybody basically hear about Perrin as if he's a folktale, like he's not standing right there in front of them, or as if he's not the Perrin that they all grew up with. And I think he even has that sentiment at one point. He's like, yo, what? This is, you know, this, what are y'all talking about? Like, I'm just me. I'm Perrin. And everybody's like, nah, bro, you are not just Perrin anymore. You know? And I thought that was very interesting. And then as we continue through the book and as we continue down the road, all the young people were just kind of trying to they just kept asking parents stuff about everything that was going on. And I guess that is because they were listening to his name, like being spoke as if he was a folktale. So then to have the dude that you've been hearing about in front of you, I guess it would be kind of a big deal. I guess it would be kind of a big deal. Oh, and this is, I believe, where we get some really good Waygate lore after this, because we do find out that Loyal basically left the key under the mat, and that's how that all the Trollocs were getting through. So because of that, you know, I believe that he tried to take some of those things into his own hands, just because he didn't feel too good about it, which is understandable.
The ways have been dark for long generations, yet we grew them. I could not bring myself to destroy the gate. I am sorry, Perrin. It is all my fault.
I did not believe a waygate could be destroyed, Fail said.
I did not mean destroy exactly.
Loyal leaned on his long-handled axe.
A waygate was destroyed once, less than 500 years after the breaking, according to Damel, daughter of Ela, daughter of Sofera, because the gate was near a steading that had fallen to the Blight. There are 2 or 3 gates lost in the Blight as it is. But she wrote that it was very difficult, and required 13 Aes Sedai working together with a Sa'angreal. Another attempt she wrote of, by only 9 during the Trolloc Wars, damaged the gate in such a way that the Aes Sedai were pulled into the...
He cut off, ears wriggling with embarrassment, and knuckled his wide nose. Everyone was staring at him, even Verin and the Aiel.
I do let myself be carried away sometimes. The Waygate. Yes, I cannot destroy it, but if I remove both Avendasora leaves completely, they will die.
He grimaced at the thought.
The only means of opening the gate again will be for the elders to bring the talisman of growing. Though I suppose an Aes Sedai could cut a hole in it.
This time he shuddered. Damaging a waygate must have seemed like tearing up a book to him. A moment later, he was grim-faced once more.
I will go now.
Bruh. Oh my goodness. It's so insane to even see Loyal basically grow up, right? Like, for all intents and purposes, he is around the same age as everyone else is here, right? Like, Like in Ogier years, he is a 20-something-year-old, if I'm not mistaken, just like how everybody else is a 20-something-year-old. So he has growing up to do in his own right, and to see him carrying a battle axe and just looking like a badass now, and kind of, you know, not as timid, I guess you could say. You know, it's just crazy. It's crazy to see that. It's just crazy to see that, man. Like, he still has books, but also he's carrying an axe now, a giant axe, like, just in case somebody want to try me. Like, yeah, man, like, hell yeah. Like, it's sad because it's our good old friend Loyal, but at the same time, it's like, bro, these are testing times. So this is a time for everybody needs to lock in. Everybody needs to, you know, like, we're literally at war against the Dark One. We gotta we gotta make we gotta make some changes. We gotta make some changes, and it's crazy to see those changes being made, even by Loyal. And I think that's what the biggest point of it is. It's like, even bruh's like, nah, man, this is not okay. Like, this is not okay. We gotta stand together. And Loyal is even standing 10 toes down. So let's go. And then there was something said about it took 13 Aes Sedai to destroy a Waygate, and then I was also thinking maybe it would take that many to basically create one, you know what I mean? Like, in that same vein as it took 13 to destroy it. And when he said destroy, he was like, well, not destroy like destroy. So when I say create, I don't mean create like create, you know what I mean? I mean more so on the other side of that, right? Uh, and then it is kind of crazy to see, you know, to see Perrin being big ass Perrin being carried by big ass Loyal. Like that is hilarious. And then it's like, oh my god, Perrin's been dying this whole time. That was crazy to me. The fact that he was literally dying the entire time that was going on. And then again, Robert Jordan is just flexing his what's it called? Flexing his word painting skills by being like, oh yeah, like just slowly transitioning into being dazed for Perrin, right? Like, as we are in Perrin's POV, we see that he's getting dazed, and it's like, oh wait, this is different. I like that so much. I like that so much. They did such a good job. But I really enjoyed chapter 43. I think they did a good job across the board. We get to see a little Fail there as well. You know, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed chapter 43 of this. Oh, snap. All right. Now, let's get into
Chapter 44. The Breaking Storm. Perrin opened his eyes slowly, staring up at the plain white plastered ceiling. It took a moment to realize he was in a 4-posted bed, lying on a feather mattress with a blanket over him and a goose-down pillow under his head. A myriad of scents danced in his nose. The feathers and the wool of the blanket, a goose roasting, bread and honey cakes baking. One of the Winespring Inn's rooms, with unmistakable bright morning light streaming in at the white-curtained windows. Morning. He fumbled at his side. Unbroken skin met his fingers, but he felt weaker than at any time since being shot. A small enough price, though, and a fair enough exchange. His throat felt parched, too. When he moved, Fail leaped up from a chair beside the small stone fireplace, tossing aside a red blanket and stretching. She had changed to a darker, narrow-skirted riding dress, and wrinkles in the grey silk said she had slept in that chair. "Alana said you needed sleep," she said. He reached toward the white pitcher on the small table beside the bed, and she hurriedly poured a cup of water and held it for him to drink. "You need to stay right here for another 2 or 3 days, until you have your strength back."
Bruh, I love Perrin. He's just such a brute force. He's such a brute force. Like, and I guess that's one of the things. I don't know if someone has said this before in chat, but Perrin and Fail are the embodiments of, you know what I mean, an unstoppable object and an unmovable object meets an unstoppable force, right? Like, that is how I feel about them, because they both are so stubborn, and they both want their way so bad. They also are trying to think about the other, but at the same time, they think the other's ideas are stupid. I love that dynamic of them together. It's really funny. So yeah, we obviously see Perrin is still not 100%. And he's obviously still going to try to do whatever he can. And of course, in that same vein, bro's knees buckle and him and Fail fly down the stairs. Like, his knees buckle and he sends them tumbling.
And leaned very close until their noses almost touched. "Listen to me, Perrin," she said urgently. "You can not do everything. If Loyal and Gaul have gone to lock the Waygate, you must let them. Your place is here, even if you were strong enough, and you are not. Do you hear me? You are not strong enough. But even if you were, you must not go after them. You cannot do everything." "Why, whatever are you two doing?" Marin Alvia said. Wiping her hands on her long white apron, she came from the back door of the common room. Her eyebrows looked to be trying to climb into her hair. "I expected Trollocs after all that racket, but not this." She sounded half scandalized and half amused. What they looked like, Perrin realized, with Fail lying on him that way, their heads close together, was a couple playing kissing games. On the floor of the common room. Fail's cheeks reddened and she got up very quickly, dusting her dress. "He is as stubborn as a Trolloc, Mr. Salvia. I told him he was too weak to rise. He must go back to his bed immediately. He has to learn he cannot do everything himself, especially when he cannot even walk down a flight of steps." "Oh, my dear," Mistress Alvia said, shaking her head. "That is quite the wrong way." Leaning close to the younger woman, she whispered softly, but Perrin heard every word. "He was an easy little boy to manage most of the time, if you handled him properly. But when you tried to push him, he was as muley as any in the Two Rivers. Men don't really change that much, only grow taller. If you go telling him what he must and mustn't do, he will surely lay his ears back and dig his heels in. Let me show you." Marin turned a beaming smile on him, ignoring his glare. "Perrin, don't you think one of my good goose feather mattresses is better than that floor? I'll bring you some of my kidney pie just as soon as we have you tucked in."
Yo, it's just hilarious. Perrin's going for absolutely none of it, obviously. He's just going for none of it. But it is cool to see. I've said this before. One thing I do enjoy is the passing of the torch from, like, OGs to the new generation. That's something that I just enjoy very much. Now, mind you, in that same vein, it's very good for it to happen because that is the moment where you break those generational curses from one to the next, because as those messages get passed down, they're also able to be filtered through the lens of the new, the new generation or whatever the case may be, and then so on and so forth. So I think that works. I think that's a very interesting thing to be able to keep seeing with them being in the Two Rivers, especially since it is, it does have the women's circle that are like the ones that run everything that's going on. So to be able to see the way that Mistress Alvir is kind of teaching Fail these different things, and Perrin is kind of learning stuff as well from the other men that are in that are there. It's just very cool to see all of those connections being made, if you will. All right, let's get it. Let's get it, because now it's about to go down.
Just a little more rest. Fail took his other arm. Trollocs! The cry from outside came muffled through the walls, echoed by a dozen voices. Trollocs! Trollocs! That needn't concern you today, Mistress Alvia said, firm and soothing at the same time. It made him want to grit his teeth. The Aes Sedai will handle things nicely. In a day or two, we'll have you back on your feet. You will see.
My horse!
He said, trying to pull free. They had good holds on his coat sleeves. All he accomplished was swinging them back and forth.
For the love of the light, will you stop tugging at me and let me get my horse? Let go of me!
Looking at his face, Fail sighed and released his arm. Mistress Alvia, will you have his horse saddled and brought around? But my dear, he really needs... If you please, Mistress Alvia, Fail said firmly. And my horse too. The two women looked at each other as if he did not exist. At last, Mistress Alvia nodded. Perrin frowned at her back as she hurried across the common room and vanished toward the kitchen and the stable. What had Fail said different from what he had? Turning his attention to her, he said,
Why did you change your mind?
Tucking his shirt in for him, she muttered under her breath. Doubtless he was not supposed to hear well enough to understand. I mustn't say must I? When he is too stubborn to see straight, I must lead him with honey and smiles, must I? She shot him a glare that surely had no honey in it, then abruptly changed to a smile so sweet, he very nearly backed away. My dear heart, she almost cooed, pulling his coat straight, whatever is happening out there, I do hope you will stay in your saddle and as far from Trollocs as you can. You really are not up to facing a Trolloc just yet, are you? Maybe tomorrow. Please remember you are a general, a leader, and every bit as much a symbol to your people as that banner out there. If you are up where people can see you, it will lift everyone's heart, and it is much easier to see what needs doing and give orders if you aren't in the fighting yourself. Picking his belt off the floor, she buckled it around his waist, settling the axe carefully on his hip. She also batted her eyes at him. Please say you will do that. Please. She was right. He would not last 2 minutes against a Trolloc, more like 2 seconds against a Fade. And much as he hated to admit it, he would not last 2 miles in the saddle, chasing after Loyal and Gaul.
Fool, Okia. You're a writer, not a hero. All right,
he said. A mischievous impulse seized him. The way she and Mistress Alvia had been talking over his head and batting her eyes as if he were a fool.
I can't refuse you anything when you smile so prettily.
I am glad. Still smiling, she brushed at his coat, picking lint he could not see. Because if you don't, and you manage to survive, I'll do to you what you did to me that first day in the ways. I don't think you are strong enough yet to stop me. That smile beamed up into his face, all springtime and sweetness. Do you understand me? He chuckled in spite of himself.
Sounds as if I had better let them kill me.
She did not seem to think that was funny. Hugh and Tad, the lanky stablemen, led Stepper and Swallow around soon after they stepped outside. Everyone else seemed to be gathered at the far end of the village beyond the green, with its sheep and cows and geese, and that crimson and white wolf-head banner rippling on the morning breeze. As soon as he and Fail were up on their horses, the stablemen took off running that way too, without a word. Whatever was going on, it was clearly not an attack. He could see women and children in the crowd, and the shouts of Trolloc had died down to a murmur like an echo of the geese. He rode slowly, not wanting to waver in his saddle. Fail kept Swallow close, watching him. If she could change her mind once for no reason, she could again, and he did not want any arguments about whether he should be there. The babbling crowd did appear to contain everyone in Emmons Field, villagers and farmers alike, all jammed shoulder to shoulder, but they made way for him and Fail when they saw who he was. His name entered the murmurs, usually tagged with golden eyes. He picked up the word Trollocs too, but in tones more wondering than frightened. From Stepper's back, he had a good view over their heads.
Oh my goodness, yo. I love that Fail is with the absolute business for her dude, okay? I love Fail. She makes me very nervous because she's low-key untrustworthy at times, but I love that she rides for Perrin and with Perrin. Not just for, with. By his side, in the thick of it, going hard, in the paint. I love it, man. Legit, I love it. They're awesome. And then like she treats him with love, and he really locked in after that. Like, I'm rocking with Fail, and I just need her to not do anything that will make me regret rocking with her, because she does that sometimes. You know what I mean? You know? You know? I also love the Golden Eyes murmur. I think Golden Eyes may be one of the dopest monikers, nicknames. Like, that is just so raw. And the fact The fact that Perrin is a werewolf without being a werewolf is probably the dopest decision ever. Like, I am going to 100% have to try to that out somehow. I don't know what that will look like, but being a werewolf but not a werewolf is so, like, that is just so cool. That is so cool. That alone is an amazing magic system that you could expand on. You know what I mean? Like, oh man, that actually would be an amazing magic system. But I gotta make that now. Hold on, where's my wait a minute. Where's my sticky pads, homie? I shouldn't have to I shouldn't have to bust out some new sticky notes, homie. What? That's awesome. That's awesome. So, Golden Eyes. Werewolf. Wolf brother. Other animals? Magic system. Oh. Okay. Boom. Oh my gosh. Wow. That sounds awesome. Gonna have to try to do something with that, guys. Okay. And then to do all of that, hear all of these murmurs and whatnot, and to look out and realize that there are 500 Trollocs coming for you. 500? Like, that is terrifying. That's actually terrifying, yo. I would not know what to do in that situation. But then you have these people that are treating Perrin as basically a king. Like, Perrin, for all intents and purposes, has been, like, made a king by his own people. And it leaves me to wonder, is that exactly what Perrin, like, is that exactly what Rand wanted? You know, did Rand want Perrin to become, like, the lord of the land? Is that why he, like, deemed him the one necessary to be able to handle that mission? You know? It's so cool that no matter what anyone else does, I'm always trying to figure out if this was all part of Rand's plan or not. Like, I have no idea how far Rand's influence reaches now that he's this new person. Like, we haven't had a display of that type of political power outside of seeing him put other political leaders in their place. So it just makes you wonder, you know? Really makes you wonder.
She and Chiad were sitting near the stakes, playing some game that apparently involved flipping a knife into the foot of ground between them. Surely if the Trollocs were coming, they would have come by now. He was beginning to find it hard to sit up straight. Conscious of Fail's watchful eyes, he kept his back stiff. A horn blared, brazen and shrill. "Trollocs!" half a dozen voices shouted, and bestial, black-mailed shapes flooded out of the westward, howling as they ran across the stumpy ground, waving scythe-curved swords and spiked axes, spears and tridents. 3 Murdral rode behind them on black horses, darting back and forth as though driving the Trolloc charge before them. Their dead black cloaks hung motionless no matter how their mounts dashed or whirled. The horn sounded continuously, in sharp, urging cries. 20 arrows leaped out as soon as the first Trolloc appeared, the strongest shot falling nearly 100 paces short. "Hold, you lap-witted sheep-brains!" Tam shouted. Bran jumped and gave him a startled look, no less incredulous than those coming from Tam's friends and neighbours. Some muttered about not standing still for that kind of talk, Trollocs or no Trollocs. Tam rode right over their protests, though. "You hold till I give the word, the way I showed you." Then, as if hundreds of shrieking Trollocs were not galloping toward him, Tam turned calmly to Perrin. "At 300 paces?" Perrin nodded quickly. The man was asking him? 300 paces. How quickly could a Trolloc cover 300 paces? He eased his axe in its loop. That horn wailed and wailed. The spearmen crouched behind the stakes as if forcing themselves not to edge back. The Aiel had veiled their faces. Onward the screaming tide came, all horned heads and faces with snouts or beaks,
Oh, yeah,
each half
baby.
again as tall as a man, each shrieking for blood. 500 paces. 400. Some were stretching out in front. They ran as fast as horses. Had the Aiel been right? Could there be only 500? It looked like thousands. "Ready!" Tam called, and 200 bows were raised. The young men with Perrin hurriedly formed up in front of him in imitation of their elders, ranking themselves with that full banner. 300 paces. Perrin could see those misshapen faces, contorted with rage and frenzy as clearly as if they were right on top of him. "Loose!" Tam shouted. Bowstrings slapped like one huge whip crack. With twin crashes of beam against leather-padded beam, the catapults fired. Broadhead arrows rained down into the Trollocs. Monstrous shapes fell, but some rose and staggered on, harried by the fades. That horn wove into their guttural bellowing, sounding forward for the kill. The catapult stones fell among them and exploded in fire and shards, ripping open holes in the mass. Perrin was not the only one to jump, so that was what the Aes Sedai had been doing with the catapults. He wondered wildly what would happen if they dropped one of those stones, loading it into the cup. Another flight of arrows leaped out, and another, and again, and more stones from the catapults, if at a slower pace. Fiery explosions tore at the Trollocs. Broadhead points hailed down on them, and they came on, shrieking, howling, falling and dying, but always running forward. They were close now, close enough that the bowmen spread out, no longer firing in flights, but choosing their targets. Men screamed their own rage, screamed in the face of death as they shot. And then there were no more Trollocs standing. Only one fade, bristling with arrows, yet still staggering blindly. The shrill shrieks of a Murdral's thrashing horse competed with the moaning bellows of downed and dying Trollocs. The horn had fallen silent at last. Here and there across the stump-filled field, a Trolloc heaved and fell back. Under it all, Perrin could hear men panting as if they had run 10 miles. His own heart seemed to be pounding out of his chest. Suddenly, someone raised a loud huzzah, and with that, men began capering and shouting euphorically, waving bows or whatever they had over their heads, tossing caps in the air. Women rushed out from the houses, laughing and cheering, and children all celebrating and dancing with the men. Some came running to grab Perrin's hand and shake it. "You've led us to a great victory, my boy." Bran laughed up at him. He had his steel cap perched on the back of his head. "I suppose I shouldn't call you that now. A great victory, Perrin." "I didn't do anything," he protested. "I just sat on my horse. You did it." Bran listened no more than any of the others. Embarrassed, Perrin sat up straight, pretending to survey the field, and after a while they left him alone. Tam had not joined in the celebrating. He stood close behind the stakes, studying the Trollocs. The warders were not laughing either. Black mailed shapes littered the field among the low stumps. There could be 500 of them. Maybe less. Some, a few, might have made it back to the trees. None lay closer than 50 paces from the pointed hedge. Perrin found the other 2 fades writhing on the ground. That accounted for all 3. They would admit they were dead eventually. The 2 Rivers folk raised a thunderous cheer for him. "Perrin Golden Ice! Huzzah! Huzzah! Huzzah!"
That's just so dope that I love that the Fades just won't accept that they're dead, so they're literally fighting to stay alive, but it's like, nah, buddy, you're dying. It's like, bro, they'll accept it eventually, and then their body stops. Like, that is so dope. That is so raw, bro. Oh, bro. Yo, I just love it, bro. Just right back at it. We're getting crazy. And then they're just loose. Just arrows and just taking them out. Yes, bro. And then you sit back and you realize all of that's happening just so that they can test Perrin to see how good his skills are at being a leader. And then you're like, oh, buddy. Like, oh, buddy. Okay, okay. Yeah, just absolutely crazy. They're testing him like, come on, Golden Eyes, what's happening? What can you really do? What can you do, bruh? Why don't you show us? Show us a little something. Go ahead, send 500 Trollocs. See what he can do. Like, whoa, that's dangerous. That's terrifying, actually. I cannot wait to create like a Dark Lord type of character. I want to do that so bad. Or like just like any of these types of characters where it's like, yeah, man. They have fought. They're just gonna send people at you just for the hell of it, just to see if you can pass this test. Like, what? Those are just such good characters. Okay, okay, baby. All right, before we move on, though, let's get a little word from. Here at Vane Esports, we focus on competitive gaming and entertainment. Our main goal is building a community that brings players, streamers, and content creators of all kinds together. Vane Media is our new network that we created to give streamers and players the tools that they need to succeed. Through a variety of podcasts and live shows, we'll answer questions of any aspiring creator, streamer, or competitive player. The Vane podcast will be open to all org members. It will be used as a way to promote different members, streamers, and content creators, as well as upcoming projects. By interviewing members new and old, we'll use the Vane podcast as a way for everyone to get to know about their family better. Since this will be available on all platforms, even people that aren't members of Vane Esports can get to know about our family. Vane Talk will be more of a creator seminar. This will be tailored specifically towards those focused on content creation and stream production. We'll have guest speakers, Q&As, and brand audits to help make sure streamers are building their brand as one cohesive funnel to different platforms. We hope that by having guest speakers that have already done the thing, it will help those unsure make a decision about what direction they want to go. Push to Talk is our just chatting section for Vane Esports. Members can just chat about new games, streaming, and content creation, or just get to know each other while creating content at the same time. Any member of Vane Esports is able to be a part of Push to Talk, and it will be available on all platforms. All of the Vane Media content will be available on our Vane Esports YouTube channel and wherever you listen to your podcasts.
We up like these V's. Whatever you do, you don't freeze. You might end up on a clip in that feed. What you gonna do against me and my team? Let's hope I don't squeeze. Whatever.
Alrighty. Let's get back into it with
Chapter 45. The Tinker's Sword.
ho. I love this because the Tinker Sword, it's like an oxymoron. You know what I mean? Like, it should be no sword for a tinker.
With the village with Fail at his heels, Perrin found the men on the south side in a cluster, peering out over the cleared fields and muttering, some with bows half drawn. 2 wagons blocked the gap the old road made in the sharp stakes. The nearest low stone fence still standing, bordering a field of tobacco, lay 500 paces off, with nothing between, taller than barley stubble. The ground
Yo, what's
short
up
of
with
it
this
sprouted
patch?
arrows
You're
like
good,
weeds.
brother.
Smoke curled up in the far distance, a dozen or more thick black plumes, some wide enough to be fields burning. Sen Buey was there, and Harry and Dal Coplin. Billy Conger had an arm around the shoulders of his cousin Wit, Daisy's bony husband, who looked as if he wished Billy would not breathe on him. None smelled of fear, only excitement, and Billy of ale. At least 10 men at once tried to tell him what had happened. Some were louder than others.
The Trollocs tried us here as well.
Harry Coplin shouted.
But we showed them, didn't we?
There were murmurs of agreement, but just as many or more eyed each other doubtfully and shifted their feet.
We some heroes here too.
Dahl said in a loud, rough voice.
Your lot up at the wood aren't the only ones.
A bigger man than his brother, he had that same weasel-narrow Coplin face, the same tight mouth as if he had just bitten a green persimmon. When he thought Perrin was not looking, he shot him a spiteful look. It did not necessarily mean he really wished he had been up facing the westward. Dahl and Harry and most of their relatives usually found a way to see themselves being cheated, whatever the situation.
Yo, this is hilarious, okay? Like, this is hilarious. What in the world is wrong with these dudes, yo? Like, these idiots were shooting at Tinkers. Like, we heroes too. Psych! No, you ain't no heroes. Like, y'all was going on. Y'all was literally going for Tinkers of all people. I love it. Yo, Thatch, yo, how we doing? Yo, we doing good, Thatch. I'm having a good day, man. We are in chapter 45, the Tinker's Sword. That's where we are right now. We just started the chapter. We just started this one, and I'll grab my tome. Yeah, we just started this chapter, and I'm just talking about how these guys are idiots because they were shooting at the Tinkers, and they thought that they were going after, Trollocs, and it's the Tuatha. You know what I mean? And one of the things that I love about this, about Perrin really, is I feel like Perrin is just so awesome because he keeps hitting all of these side quests. Like, he's going side quest after side quest and he's helping everyone. Like, he is a real leader, yo. That's all you can, that's just all that it oozes from him is straight leadership. It sounds wild, but it's a fact, right? And then again, after we go through this moment, boom, here comes idiot Luke, and somehow he killed a Fade. And it's like, bro, again, ain't no way this dude killed a Fade, brother. There's just no way. I can't believe it. That was even my, that's literally my note. Ain't no way his ass killed a Fade. That's literally what my note was for Luke at this moment. And I thought that, because it's just, bro, I hate that dude. I can't stand Lord Luke, bro. Because every time he pulls up, it's just, what is up with Luke, bruv? Who is this guy? And then I start rolling, of course, with Perrin, because he's like, they'd be fine without me. It's like, bro, Perrin, they cannot survive without you. Like, it's impossible. It's impossible, Perrin. It's not going down. Yeah, bro, it's so sketchy. It's ridiculous. It's insane how sketchy he is, yo. It makes my skin crawl, bro. Luke is just so sketchy, dude. And then I love how Perrin also is just casually talking about the future with Fail, and she's eating it up completely, and he is just completely clueless to the fact. And it's like, yo. And I just think I like it as well because it just shows how different they are in thinking. Like, he needs no reason to reassure her of what's going to happen because to him, it's just a done deal, right? He's just speaking to it as fact. Like, this is what's going on. And she's like, wait, what? Like, she doesn't know this. Like, she doesn't know that these are the plans, but hey, these are the plans, Perrin. Get with it or get lost. Get with it or get lost.
I could have saved her, Aram called after her. Grandmother! I could have saved her! She never looked back, and when she vanished around the corner...
Oh!
Why not? He shouted angrily. They killed Mother! I saw them! I might have saved her if I had had a sword! I could have saved her! The words sliced at Perrin's chest. A tinker with a sword seemed an unnatural thing, almost enough to make his hackles stand. But those words...
Wait. Hold on. I want this full moment. Hold on.
Ill-assorted swords. Then he reached out and pulled a sword from the cluster, hefting it awkwardly, around the room with his hands stuffed into his pockets, eyeing spears and halberds sideways. Perrin was more than grateful to dig in when Marin brought him a plate of sliced roast goose, with turnips and peas and good crusty bread. At least, he would have dug in, if Fail had not tucked a flower-embroidered napkin under his chin and snatched the knife and fork out of his hands. She seemed to find it amusing to feed him the way Bode and Eldrin had been feeding Aram. The Corthan girls giggled at him, and Natty and Marin wore little smiles too. Perrin did not see what was so funny. He was willing to indulge Fail, though, even if he could have fed himself more easily. She kept making him stretch his neck to take what she had on the fork. Aram's slow wandering took him around the room 3 times before he stopped at the foot of the stairs, staring at the barrel of ill-assorted swords. Then he reached out and pulled a sword from the cluster, hefting it awkwardly. The leather-wrapped hilt was long enough for both of his hands. "Can I use this one?" he asked. Perrin nearly choked. Alana appeared at the head of the stairs with Isla. The Tuatha'an woman looked weary, but the bruise was gone from her face. Best thing is sleep, the Aes Sedai was saying. It is shock to his mind that troubles him most, and I cannot heal that. Isla's eyes fell on her grandson, on what he held, and she screamed as if that blade had gone into her flesh. No! Aram! No! She almost fell in her haste to get down the stairs and flung herself on Aram, trying to pull his hands from the sword. No, Aram! She panted breathlessly. You must not! Put it down! The way of the leaf! You must not! The way of the leaf! Please, Aram! Please!
I love
Aram
this
glanced
so
at her,
much.
fending her off clumsily, trying to hold the sword away from her. Why not? He shouted angrily. They killed Mother! I saw them! I might have saved her if I had had a sword! I could have saved her! The words sliced at Perrin's chest. A tinker with a sword seemed an unnatural thing, almost enough to make his hackles stand. But those words... His mother. Leave him alone, he said, more roughly than he intended. Any man has a right to defend himself, to defend his... He has a right! Aram pushed the sword toward Perrin. Will you teach me how to use it? I don't know how, Perrin told him. You can find someone, though. Tears rolled down Isla's contorted face.
Oh my
The Trollocs
god.
took my
this
daughter,
is so fire,
she
bro.
said, her entire body shaking. And all my grandchildren but one. And now you take him. He is lost because of you, Perrin Ebara. You have become a wolf in your heart. And now you will make him one too.
Oh my
Turning, she
god.
stumbled back up,
I love it.
still racked with sobs. I could have saved her, Aram called after her. Grandmother! I could have saved her! She never looked back, and when she vanished around the corner, he slumped against the banister, weeping. I could have saved her, Grandmother! I could have! Perrin realized Bode was crying too, with her face in her hands, and the other women were frowning at him as though he had done something wrong. No, not all of them. Alana studied him from the head of the stairs with that unreadable Aes Sedai calm, and Fail's face was nearly as blank. Wiping his mouth, he tossed the napkin on the table and got up. There was still time to tell Aram to put the sword back, to go ask Isla's pardon. Time to tell him... what? That maybe next time he wouldn't be there to watch his loved ones die?
My goodness.
That maybe he could just come back to find their graves? He put a hand on Aram's
This
shoulder,
shit is
and the man flinched,
fantastic.
hunching around the sword as if expecting him to take it. The tinker's scent carried a wash of emotions, fear and hate and bone-deep sadness. Lost, Isla had called him. His eyes looked lost. Wash your face, Aram. Then go find Tam Althor. Say I ask him to teach you the sword. Slowly, the other man raised his face. Thank you, he stammered, scrubbing at the tears on his cheeks with his sleeve. Thank you. I will never forget this. Never. I swear it. Suddenly, he hoisted the sword to kiss the straight blade. The hilt had a brass wolf head for a pommel. I swear. Is that not how it is done? I suppose it is, Perrin said sadly, wondering why he should feel sad. The way of the leaf was a fine belief, like a dream of peace.
Bruh.
But
Oh
like the
my
dream, it could not last where there was violence. He did not know of a place without that. A dream for some other man, some other time, some other
age, perhaps.
Go on, Aram. You have a lot to learn. And there may not be much time.
Yo.
Still bubbling thanks, the tinker did not wait to wash his tears away, but ran straight out of the inn, carrying the sword, upright before him, in both hands.
Bro, oh my goodness. Like, this is so peak. To see this event play out in real time that Rand just had a vision of in the past with his ancestors picking up the spear, and now to see in this modern... Oh my goodness, bro. Oh my goodness. Like, I can't handle how good this is. Like, it's like the fact that Aram is the tinker with the sword is crazy. Like, this is just, there's so many levels, you know what I mean? There's so many levels to what's happening here that you can deconstruct this in so many ways. And you are able to see the reflections of time. Yo, it's crazy. It's crazy. Like, There's literally nothing I could have. I never expected this. Not once did I expect this to happen. Like, even when we had the visions with Rand and finding out that the Tuatha are in fact the Aiel, are in fact the, you know what I mean? Even when we found that out, I still never made the connection to this. Like, to these tinkers that we know now. Like, mind blowing, bro. And now I really need to know what's going on. What is it called? Like the other ones, the Athan mirror or whatever. Because it's like we got the Tuatha on, and then we got the Watha on. It's like, bro, I need to know what's going on over there too. Bro, oh my gosh, it's so amazing. Oh my goodness, it's fantastic. It's literally fantastic. And it's just crazy. Like, it's just beautiful. And then for her to say, you have become a wolf in your heart, and now you have made him one too. I mean, damn it. God, damn it. I'm a goddamn wolf too. Like, bro, we all out here wolving. Mike G. Sounds crazy. But, like, whoa. Oh my goodness. Like, the Taviran are at work and Alana knows it. Like, this is just fire, bro. Oh my gosh. Like, holy frijoles, man. And then to wrap it all up and finish it with the bow, with Fael becoming more and more amazing. Like how we just see Perrin thinking only about everyone else, but not himself. And then she comes right behind him and is caring for him. Oh my goodness. Like, holy bro. Like, this chapter was fantastic. This section, I said it at the top. This section was incredible, man. It was incredible. This was so good, it makes me want to go back and watch. I want to go back and watch my own instant reaction to this chapter, because I know I had to be tripping when after reading this section, because wow, it's just so friggin' good. It's just so freaking good. Man. Whew. All right, and then of course we transition from that to White Cloaks, and it's like, damn, these White Cloaks are coming for blood. And then I put goddamn Luke pulled up for why. So of course Luke is obviously just still irritating to the core, and then Dane of course is pulling up here. And then this is when we find out that Perrin didn't even know that he killed bruh's dad. And I did not even realize that he didn't know that he's had this basically target on his back from the White Cloaks for killing Dane's dad. Like, I don't know. Like, he didn't even know. And then he didn't even really care either. Then we and then Terran Ferry is gone. We find that out as well. Terran Ferry's been basically obliterated, if I'm not mistaken. And we really get to see how crazy the White Cloaks are. Like, they're just so idiotic and so dumb. And they don't really know what else is going on at all. But in the same vein, then we get the village, locking in for my guy Perrin. Like locking in for my guy Perrin and letting him know, like, nah, bro, this isn't going down. And then, of course, bro is just so full of rage and hate that he's willing to make good with the enemies, to fight with the White Cloaks to get what he wants. And it's just, and then my last note in this chapter here, my last note in this chapter is fuck Luke. I don't know why, but fuck Luke. I don't know why I wrote that, but that's what my that's what the last one is, man. You know? Literally, that's the last line that I wrote in my notes is F Luke. I don't know why, but F Luke. That's it. And then it goes to the next chapter. So yeah. I feel that. I feel that past me. That's hecka funny. So glad I jumped in at this point for the best hunk of these chapters, I think. Bro, yeah, that just was insane. This one might be the best writing in this section. The next chapter is so good too, though. Bro, like I said, I feel like this whole section, man, from 43 to 48 is just fantastic, bro. Like, it's just fantastic. I forgot what happened in chapter 47. That's a banger too. Bro, I'm telling you, man. From 43 to 48 are bangers, brother. I'm telling you. I like your instincts. Hey, you know what? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. All right. Let's keep rocking, bro. Yes, Thatch, I agree. I love this book so much, man. It's so good. It's so good. I cannot wait to finish it. I've been like biting my teeth like to finish this one, you know what I mean? There's just so much going on. Having to cover New Comic Book Day, the live coverage that we do for New Comic Book Day and all of that, and having that be basically at the time where we would be doing book club, it's obviously caused some ripples. But you know, I'm excited to finish this book either way, and then we're gonna rework all that for From Watcher to Reader for the From Watcher to Reader channel. That we have on YouTube. So I'm pumped, bro. I'm pumped. I'm pumped to get back into book club and reading and getting into Mistborn and Brandon Sanderson and all of that. I think the first stream that I do on From Watcher to Reader channel will be about Brandon Sanderson stuff. I think that'll actually be a really good stream to just talk about all of that and really like lock it in. I love when some little detail from RJ gets the hackles up. Like, IDK, what's wrong yet? But IDK, if I should be ready to fight or cry. Yes. It is there is such a feeling of uneasiness. Like, there's a huge feeling of uneasiness. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Just got the script that I needed from the comic book stuff. Let's get that downloaded real quick. Okay, yeah, man. I've seen the first half of Night of the Seven Kingdoms. I did not see the second half, so I think I need to finish episodes 4, 5, and 6 if I'm not mistaken. I watched episodes 1, 2, and 3, so I need to finish episodes 4, 5, and 6. So I can get all of that done and locked in. Okay. Okay, let's get it started. Wait. Are we getting it started here? Oh no, after this one. After this one. Okay, all right. Yeah. Okay, all right. Let's get into
Chapter 46. Veils. The crowds were thick in the confined winding streets of the Calpenna near the Great Circle. The smoke of countless cook fires rising above the high white walls gave the reason. Sour smells of smoke and cooking and long unwashed sweat hung heavy in the humid morning air, with the crying of children and the vague murmurs that always clung to large masses of people, together enough to muffle the shrill caws of the gulls sailing overhead. The shops in this area had long since locked the iron grills over their doors for good. Disgusted, Aegeanin threaded her way through the throng afoot. It was dreadful that order had broken down enough for penniless refugees to take over the circles, sleeping among the stone benches. It was as bad as their rulers letting them starve. Her heart should have been gladdened. This dispirited rabble could never resist the Corina, and then proper order would be restored. But she hated looking at it. Most of the ragged people around her seemed too apathetic to wonder at a woman in their midst in a clean, well-tended blue riding dress, silk if plainly cut. Men and women in once fine garb, soiled and wrinkled now, speckled the crowd, so perhaps she did not stand out enough for contrast. The few who seemed to wonder whether her clothes meant coins in her purse were dissuaded by the competent way she carried her stout staff, as tall as she was. Guards and chair and bearers had to be left behind today.
that's the Night of the
Florin
Seven
Gelb
Kingdoms
would surely have
playlist right
realized
there,
he was
brother.
being followed by that array. At least this dress with its divided skirts gave her a little freedom of movement.
Those are the first three
Keeping the
episode
weaselly
reactions
little man in
right
sight
there.
was easy, even in this mass of people. Despite having to dodge ox carts or the occasional wagon, hauled by sweating, bare-chested men more often than animals. Gelb and 7 or 8 companions, burly, rough-faced men all, shoved through in a knot, an eddy of curses following them. Those fellows angered her. Gelb meant to try kidnapping again. He had found 3 women since she sent in the gold he had asked for, none more than casually resembling any on her list, and had whined over every one she rejected. She should never have paid him for that first woman he snatched off the street. Greed and the memory of gold had apparently washed out the hide-flaying tongue-lashing she had given him along with the purse. Shouts from behind pulled her head around and tightened her hands on the staff. A small space had opened up, as it always did around trouble. A bellowing man in a torn, once-fine yellow coat was on his knees in the street, clutching his right arm where it bent the wrong way. Huddling over him protectively, a weeping woman in a tattered green gown was crying at a veiled fellow already melting into the crowd. "He only asked for a coin! He only asked!" The crowd swirled in around them again. Grimacing, Aegeanin turned back, and stopped with an oath that drew a few startled glances. Gelb and his fellows had vanished. Pushing her way to a small stone fountain where water gushed from the mouth of a bronze fish on the side of a flat-roofed wine shop, she roughly displaced 2 of the women filling pots and leaped up onto the coping, ignoring their indignant curses. From there, she could see over the heads of the crowd. Cramped streets ran off in every direction, twisting around the hills. Bends and white-plastered buildings cut her view to less than 100 paces at best, but Gelb could not have gone farther than that in those few moments. Abruptly, she found him, hiding in a deep doorway 30 paces on, but up on his toes to peer down the street. The others were easy enough to locate then, leaning against buildings to either side of the street, trying not to be noticed. They were not the only ones lining the walls, but where the rest huddled dispiritedly, their scarred, broken-nosed faces held expectation. So it was to be here, their abduction. Certainly no one would interfere, any more than people had when that fellow's arm was broken. But who? If Gelb had finally found someone on the list, she could go away and wait for him to sell her the woman, wait her chance to see if an Adam truly could hold other Soldam besides Bethamin. However, she did not mean to face again the choice between slitting some unfortunate woman's throat and sending her off to be sold. There were plenty of women climbing up the street toward Gelb, most in those transparent veils, their hair braided. Without a second glance, Aegeanin ruled out 2 in sedan chairs with bodyguards marching alongside. Gelb's street toughs would not tangle with near their own number, nor face swords with their fists. Whoever they were after would have no more than 2 or 3 men for company, if that, and none armed. That seemed to include all the other women in her view, whether in rags or drab country dresses or the more clinging styles Tarrabonner women favoured. Suddenly, 2 of those women, talking together as they rounded a far bend, seized Aegeanin's eye. With their hair in slender braids and transparent veils across their faces, they appeared to be Tarrabonners, but they were out of place here. Those thin, scandalously draped dresses, one green, the other blue, were silk, not linen or fine-spun wool. Women clothed like that rode in sedan chairs. They did not walk, especially not here. And they did not carry barrel staves on their shoulders like clubs.
Yo, not knowing the lore, got them caught up, and that's that. Right? Again, it is following Gale, trying to see where he's going, what he's doing. He's kidnapping someone, trying to do the stuff that Again told him to do. And then we find out that he is doing this very thing to our girls, right? Boom. Terrible. Come on, man. Like, what's happening? What are we doing? Like, come on, yo. Like, the lore, the world building, the way that it connects stuff, the way that it teases us into thinking that we don't know what's going on, but then we actually do. Like, the way that we think we're just watching some random event, and then it's like, no, wait, those are our main characters. Like, that is beautiful, bro. I love it. The writing in this is magnificent. Like, there's nothing else to say, really. Like, there's really nothing else to say. Because they just do such a good job, yo. Like, wow. It's just so incredible, yo. Yeah, so we get all of that cracking off, man, and it's just, Gelb and his boys are trying to grab Nine in a lane in broad daylight, and no one is tripping, no one's paying attention. Again, just reinforcing how crazy it is. And then, of course, and then we see Again from their POV save them. It's just so cool the way we'll switch a POV and we still won't know something even though we know something. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? Like, it's not like, oh, this is like, just because we know that it's Again doesn't mean that they know. So from their POV, this is just some random woman jumping in to save them for some reason. And the reason is it's not known to them. They're not sure what's going on. They're not sure what's happening. And I love that. And again, I'm like, okay, Again save them. That's not good. And then my follow-up with that is, good Lord, they just talk so damn much for what reason? What? Look. This is the line, the string of notes that I have right here. Again save them? Oh God, that's not good. Next note. Good Lord, they just talk so effing much for what? Next note. What the F is wrong with them? Next note. The worst spies ever. Next note. They are terrible spies, bro. It's insane. They talk so much. Next note. They can't even not channel in the face of danger. Next note, naive Jesus. Next note, why are they so effing open about everything? Next note, this is pissing me off that they are just telling everything. Oh, man. Oh, my gosh. Literally, I think all of my notes are that. For that entire half. Like, oh, man. Naive Jesus. Why are they so effing open about everything? This is pissing me off. They are just telling everything. They already yapped the most, but why? Now Tom telling them. Jesus, everyone is talking so much. Why would she say not to say so? Okay, because later on Again says something, and then they're like, why wouldn't she say something? And then it's like, and I'm like, because Again is a good spy. Oh, because she knows about Baal Doman. And they're like, why wouldn't she say anything about knowing Baal Doman? And my note was, because she's a good spy. That's why. Because you guys are terrible spies, bro. Oh my goodness. I have a theory. What is this nerd theory, brother? Tell me. What is this theory you have? I would like to know of it, about it, and more about it. Hello, wife. Thank you for food. It's all mine here. Sweet. I am starving. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yo, your boy is starving, so I am gonna crunch a little bit. Not a little, a lot, but can't tell you yet. Oh, so you tell me you have a theory, but it's a theory I can't know. All right, bet. I think that them sharing with Gannon is mega interesting. I agree. It's very interesting. Like, why is this that? Why did you tell so much? But I guess it doesn't matter because they end up getting mind flayed anyway. They got straight mind flayed after this. And I'm like, oh my goodness, they're getting straight Jedi mind tricked. They're getting mind flayed. They have no, like, they can't, like, it's over. I'm like, well, it doesn't matter if they would have been good spies or bad spies because they're just getting mind flayed, bro. Like, it doesn't matter. The bad guys know everything anyway now. And then we also find out that Nynaeve has blocked herself, basically, and that's why she's having so many issues, because she's blocked herself from being, like, basically the one, and being in tune, and being locked in. Why she has done that, really not too sure. I don't know why I don't have, I feel like I would have time-stamped the Jedi mind trick, but I don't have a timestamp here. That's unfortunate. Let me see. Because I know from transitioning my notes from my phone to my computer, I lose stuff sometimes. Oh, but no, I think I took these notes from Google Docs on my computer because I was... Maybe I didn't put anything here. This is chapter 46 that we're on. Yeah, I guess no. I guess I didn't put any. Interesting. Very interesting. Doesn't seem like something I would do, but maybe I was like, I don't know. But I have more notes here. Oh, maybe I didn't put anything down because I know that we saw this in the show. That sounds accurate. That sounds like something I would do. Be like, we kind of know what happened here because we watched it in the show. And I do believe it's essentially the same thing that happens in the show that happens here. And we find out that the 11 there's 11 Black Aja, and they are going against 2 girls. It's like, damn. Little Black, okay, I put Little Black Spider, Randolph Thor, so that is his name now. Bilal dead, and then Ishmael less human. So this is kind of awesome. This is kind of awesome. I remember all of this stuff as well. This was crazy. I really loved this part in the show. This whole section in the show was awesome. I don't know if Gannon was a person though in the show, was she? Every time I say Gannon, for some reason I feel like Cartman. Like Gannon. I feel like it's the way he would say Egwene's name. Gannon? You know, I don't know. You know how he'd be like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. That's just the way that I think about it. Again, it isn't in the show, sadly. Okay. I didn't think so. One thing I can say that's awesome about the show It's like I am able to kind of build out this world in my head so much easier. Because I already know what the world like looks like from a real life quote unquote real life visual standpoint. So it's really easy for me to just insert all of these things that are happening in the book like into the show and see it from that lens. So I never really know what happened in the show and in the book sometimes because like I feel like in my head I saw this play out in the show. But maybe it's just because there's so much in the show and it just looks so good. I just love it. Yeah, so we get a good, that 46 is a solid chapter. Really like it. Like, I love the girls getting Jedi mind tricked. Well, I don't love it, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't love it. That sounds crazy, but I like that they are like, it's good, it's bad, but it's good that they are, you know, getting stuff going on because it's like, bro, they got to lock in a little bit. And I don't think they're as locked in. I don't think they're on their guard enough. I don't think any of that, you know? So they need to really do the damn thing. All right. I do believe that's some of those highlights in that chapter there. And now let's keep on moving along. But before we do,
At Vane Esports, gaming has always been about more than just winning. It's about community, connection, and
sorry, wrong ad. What is up, Super Fam?
How's it going, everyone?
Welcome to Marvel Bros, where we discuss all things Marvel and everything pop culture.
We started Marvel Bros back in 2019 because we have a love for not only Marvel movies and comics, but because we wanted to have a place where people could stay up to date with all pop culture news.
Here, you will have access to all of our content, whether it be trailer reaction. You look like He-Man.
Oh!
And most importantly, controller.
Go!
Character breakdowns. Welcome to Marvel Bros Breakdown.
Welcome to Marvel Bros Breakdown, where we dive deeper into characters and theorize about the latest films.
Pop culture news updates. On today's pop culture news update.
And on today's pop culture news update,
Or movie reviews.
we love to have open discussions here on the channel, so feel free to join us when we go live.
Battle Cove, I like that Kang's motives are understandable in the same way Thanos' motives were. That's exactly what we're saying
pretty
as
awesome.
well.
Or jump in the comment section of a trailer reaction or breakdowns so we can theorize, converse, and nerd out.
Follow us on social media at Marvel Bros to stay up to date with the latest news, rumors, content, and more.
You can also join our Discord, where we are constantly having conversations pertaining to Marvel, DC, Star Wars, anime, and everything pop culture.
All of our past pop culture news updates are available wherever you listen to podcasts at.
If you guys would like to support Marvel Bros, all you gotta do is visit our website at www.marvelbros.com and buy some merch. Represent the superfan.
To get early access to content, patron-only scoops, giveaways, private Q&As, and those sacred watch parties. All right. It's time for the big one. It's time for...
Chapter 47. The Truth of a Viewing. The papers scattered on Swan Sanche's desk held little real interest for her, but she persevered. Others handled the day-to-day routine of the White Tower, of course, to leave the Amelin seat free for important decisions. But her habit had always been to check one or two things at random each day, with no notice beforehand, and she would not break it now. She would not let herself be distracted by worries. Everything was sailing along according to plan. Shifting her striped stole, she dipped her pen carefully in the ink and ticked off another corrected total. Today she was examining lists of kitchen purchases and the Mason's report on an addition to the library. The sheer number of petty peculations people thought they could slip by always amazed her. So did the number that escaped notice by the women who oversaw these matters. For instance, Laras seemed to think watching accounts was beneath her, since her title had been changed officially from simple chief cook to mistress of the kitchens. Danelle, on the other hand, the young brown sister who was supposed to be watching Master Joverin, the Mason, was most likely letting herself be distracted by the books the fellow kept finding for her. That was the only way to explain her failure to question the number of workmen Joverin claimed to have hired, with the first shipments of stone from Candor just arriving at North Harbour. He could rebuild the entire library with that many men. Danelle was simply too dreamy, even for a Brown. Perhaps a little time on a farm working penance would wake her. Laras would be more difficult to discipline. She was not Aes Sedai, so her authority with undercooks and scullions and potboys could be swamped all too easily. But perhaps she too could be sent for a rest in the country. That would... With a snort of disgust, Swan threw her pen down, grimacing at the blot it made on a page of neatly totalled columns. "Wasting my time deciding whether to send Laras out to pull weeds," she muttered. "The woman is too fat to bend over far enough." It was not Laras's weight that had her temper jumping, and she knew it. The woman was no heavier now than she had always been, or so it seemed, and it never interfered with her running the kitchens. There was no news. That was what had her flapping like a fisher bird whose catch had been stolen. One message from Moraine that the Althor boy had Calendor, then nothing in the weeks since, although rumours in the streets were already beginning to get his name right. Still nothing. Lifting the hinged lid of the ornately carved blackwood box where she kept her most secret papers, she rummaged inside. A small warding woven around the box ensured no hand but hers could safely open it. The first paper she pulled out was a report that the novice who had seen Min's arrival had vanished from the farm she had been sent to, and the woman who owned the farm too. Hardly unheard of for a novice to run away, but the farmer leaving too was troublesome. Sarah would have to be found, certainly. She had not progressed far enough in her training to be let loose, but there was no real reason to keep the report in the box. It mentioned neither Min's name nor the reason the girl had been sent to hoe cabbages, but she put it back anyway. These were days to take care that might seem unreasonable at another time. A description of a gathering in Gaelden to listen to this man who called himself the Prophet of the Lord Dragon. Massima, it seemed his name was. Odd. That was a Shinaran name. Nearly 10,000 people had come to listen to him speak from a hillside, proclaiming the return of the dragon, a speech followed by a battle with soldiers trying to disperse them. Aside from the fact that the soldiers apparently got the worst of it, the interesting thing was that this Massima knew Rand al'Thor's name. That definitely went back into the box. A report that nothing had yet been found of Musrim Taim. No reason for that to be in there. Another on worsening conditions in Aradoman and Tarabon. Ships vanishing along the Arith Ocean coast. Rumours of Tyran incursions into Carian. She was getting into the habit of putting everything in this box. None of that needed to be kept secret. 2 sisters had vanished in Ilian, and another in Camelin. She shivered, wondering where the Forsaken were. Too many of her agents had gone silent. There were lionfish out there, and she was swimming in darkness. There it was. The silk-thin slip of paper crackled as she unrolled it. The sling has been used. The shepherd holds the sword. The Hall of the Tower had voted as she had expected, unanimously and with no need for arm-twisting, much less invoking her authority. If a man had drawn Calendor, he must be the Dragon Reborn, and that man had to be guided by the White Tower. 3 sitters for 3 different Ajahs had proposed holding all plans close in the hall before she even suggested it. The surprise had been that one was Elida, but then the Reds would surely want the tightest hawsers possible kept on a man who could channel. The sole problem had been to stop a delegation from being sent to Tyr to take him in hand, and that had not really been difficult. Not when she was able to say that her news came from an Aes Sedai who had already managed to put herself close to the man. But what was he doing now? Why had Moraine not sent further word? Impatience hung so thick in the hall now that she almost expected the air to sparkle. She kept a tight hold on her anger. Burn the woman. Why hasn't she sent word? The door crashed open, and she straightened furiously as more than a dozen women strode into her study, led by Elida. All wore their shawls, most red-fringed, but cool-faced Alviarin, a white, was at Elida's side, and Jolene Muzza, a slender green, and plump Shamarin of the yellow came close behind with Danelle, her big blue eyes not dreamy at all. In fact, Suan saw at least one woman from every Ajah except the blue. Some looked nervous, but most wore grim determination, and Elida's dark eyes held stern confidence, even triumph. "What is the meaning of this?" Suan snapped, slapping the blackwood box shut with a sharp crack. She bounced to her feet and strode around the desk. First Moraine, and now this. "If this is about Tyran matters, Elida, you know better than to bring others into it. And you know better than to walk in here as if this was your mother's kitchen. Make your apologies and leave before I make you wish you were an ignorant novice again." Her cold rage should have sent them scurrying, but though a few shifted uneasily, none made a move toward the door. Little Danelle actually smirked at her, and Elida calmly reached out and pulled the striped stole from Swan's shoulders. "You will not need this any longer," she said. "You were never fit for it, Swan." Shock turned Swan's tongue to stone. This was madness. This was impossible. In a rage, she reached for Saidar and suffered her second shock. A barrier lay between her and the true source, like a wall of thick glass. She stared at Elida in disbelief. As if to mock her, the radiance of Saidar sprang up around Elida. She stood helpless as the Red Sister wove flows of air around her, from shoulders to waist, crushing her arms to her side. She could barely breathe. "You must be mad," she rasped. "All of you! I'll have your hides for this! Release me!" No one answered. They almost seemed to ignore her. Alviarin ruffled through the papers on the table, quickly, yet unhurriedly. Jolene and Danelle and others began tilting up the books on the reading stands, shaking them to see if anything fell out from between the pages. The White Sister gave a small hiss of vexation at not finding what she sought on the table, then flipped open the lid of the blackwood box. Instantly, the box flared in a ball of flame. Alviarin leaped back with a cry, shaking a hand where blisters were already forming. "Warded," she muttered, as close to open anger as a white ever came. "So small that I never felt it until too late." Nothing remained of the box and its contents, but a heap of grey ash atop a square, charred into the tabletop. Elida's face showed no disappointment. "I promise you, Swan, that you will tell me every word that burned, who it was meant for, and to what purpose." "You must be taken by the dragon," Swan snapped. "I will have your hide for this, Elida. All of your hides. You will be lucky if the Hall of the Tower doesn't vote to still all of you." Elida's tiny smile did not touch her eyes. "The Hall convened not an hour ago. Enough sitters to meet our laws, and by unanimous vote as required. You are no longer Amelin. It is done, and we are here to see it enforced."
A goddamn
Swan's
cool.
stomach turned to ice, and a small voice in the back of her head shrieked, "What do they know? Light, how much do they know? Fool! Blind fool woman!" She kept her face smooth, though. This was not the first hard corner she had ever been in. A 15-year-old girl with nothing but her bait knife hauled into an alley by 4 hard-eyed louts with their bellies full of cheap wine. That had been harder to escape than this. So she told herself. "Enough to meet the laws?" she sneered. "A bare minimum, heavy with your friends and those you can influence or bully." That Elida had been able to convince even a relatively small number of sitters was enough to dry her throat, but she would not let it show. "When the full hall meets, with all the sitters, you'll learn your mistake. Too late. There has never been a rebellion inside the tower. 1,000 years from now, they'll be using your fate to teach novices what happens to rebels." Tendrils of doubt crept onto some of those faces. It seemed Elida did not have as tight a grip on her conspirators as she thought. "It's time to stop trying to hack a hole in the hull and stop bailing. Even you can still mitigate your offense, Elida." Elida waited with chill calm until she was done. Then her full-armed slap exploded across
agree.
Swan's face. She staggered, silver-black flecks dancing in her vision. "You are finished," Elida said. "Did you think we would allow you to destroy the tower? Bring her."
Bruh, this is terrible. Like, what? Elida has definitely been wanting to slap the shit out of Swan for a while, but damn, to see it happen? Crazy, bro. Yeah, Rosamund Swan is so good. Yeah, she does a really good job with it. I love her Swan, for real. Bro, the show version of this was really hard to get through. Cause they like demoralized the shit out of Swan Sanche in the show. Like they did everything they could. I feel like those actors, I feel like that was like one of those scenes where afterwards the actors need to kind of hug and cry it out and be like, "I'm so sorry," because it's just so heavy. Same with Egwene when she was like being tortured too. Like, bruh, when cut is yelled, everybody got to break down and cry and hold each other for a little while because god damn, what are we doing? Yeah, show is brutal, bro. Woo. Brutal. Okay, and then I think we get a POV switch to men around here too. And then we see men kind of thinking about Rand and wanting to be pretty for him. And I thought that was funny. Also here we see, I think Gawain is like leading a small party. And then this is where Min finds out about what's been going on with the Amerlin seat as well. And then this is, I think this is also where, like, we see, like, the whole Elmindrida come into play even more so. But it's just so crazy. Like, this is just crazy to see. And I love the way we kind of go back and forth from Min to Swan, to Min to Swan, to Min to Swan. You know? Yeah. Gawain, you mean the problem himself, Draken? Yeah, bro. He was definitely a big issue here. Bro, if I'm not mistaken, he is the reason why the majority of this shit even happened. Because I'm pretty sure they were losing until Gawain had like rallied up everyone else to fight against them. Which is crazy. Really like that we got to see like the Civil War play out a little bit more in the show. Well, maybe we didn't get to see it the way it was here. I don't even know if Gawain and Galad had big roles in the show yet. I think they were still like side characters. I don't think we ever got to go to that next step of them graduating from that side character role. Or at least from NPC to side character, I would like to say. Oh, man. But when we switch POVs back to Swan, this is just so sad, man. And this is where we find out that Swan's basically been tortured. And then I think Leanne is also locked down with her. And then we also find out. This is where we find out that Swan has been fully stilled, yo. They straight up stilled her. Just crazy. Just crazy, bro. I can't believe it. It's just so sad, brother. That is just so sad. And then we find out that Min came to save Swan and Leanne, I believe. And then she saves everyone. Oh, and we get a little bit of like info here that Min can't see visions around those who have been stilled. And then there's also a mention of them looking younger as well. So I don't know if like you know what I mean? I don't know what's going on there. Oh, and then my next note after they look young now is, so is Elida a black Aja or am I dumb? Like, and I don't know. I feel like during the show, I never made the connection of Elida being a black Aja. I thought she was just a red Aja because I know the red Aja are like already borderline evil. Like, I know, like, the red Aja are, like, a beat away from being black Aja already, you know? And then my next note is, What would they not dare when they have dared so much? And I think that's a good note. You think Elida is Black Aja? I think so, yo. I don't know if I don't think she's black, but I think she's Black Aja. I'm just playing. I do think so, dude. And in the show, this is something that never occurred to me until like after the show and since we've been reading. But in the show, didn't Elida straight up kill the 2 Black Aja that were in the White Tower? Like as prisoners? And can't you like not kill any Aja? And can't you not kill unless you're a Black Aja? Isn't like the only exception of like being able to use the one power to hurt somebody as if they're Black Aja or I don't know. What would they not dare when they've dared so much? Bar. Yo, but for real though, like what? As they say, if someone shenanigans once, they will shenan again. Of course, I was like, what is up with Gawain, bro? But luckily, Gawain let them leave for some reason. And then we find out that Gawain has killed Hamar and Kulin. I'm like, yo, what's going down? And then of surprise to absolutely no one, Sawan is still moving mean even though she's stilled. And then and then this is where I became mad confused, okay? This is where I became mad confused because my note here was this is so crazy. I don't think we saw anything because we didn't see a lot of this, you know what I mean? Like, we didn't see a lot of this. And then my next note after that is WTF Logain doing out here? Laughing my ass off. And I was like, that is such a good point. Because I was watching. I swear when I, like, this show is like a book, this book is like a movie in my head. But, like, we just see Logain, like, walking, just do-do-do-do-do. And then it's like, what the hell is Logain doing out here? And then Sawan recruits Logain after that. And then again, I'm just left asking what in the hell is happening. None of this happened in the show. None of this happened in the show, bro. Like what? Or at least we didn't get to that part of the show because you know the show ended and is never coming back ever. Ah, God damn it, Prime. Hey, I can't lie though, bruh. I've been watching Gen V season 2. Holy shit. Yo, like I don't know, man. Like Prime does a lot of good stuff, yo. Prime does a lot of good stuff. I am waiting for Invincible. I'm waiting for the boys the final season. Like, bruh. Yeah. Like, bruh, it's, oh my gosh. Oh, I want to watch Gen V, but I haven't yet. Bro, Gen V is so good. Like, season 2 of Gen V is insane. I was watching it before I started the live. I got like 12 minutes left in the episode that I'm watching. And I can't wait to watch it. I'm like, I can't wait. I love you too. Thank you. Have a good rest of your day. I can't wait. I'm not going to see you either, huh? I'm not gonna see you. Yeah. Yeah. You're gonna have, we have to, does she already know? Okay. Alright. Alright. Okay. Okay. Where are we? Elida did, but that seems to have believed them to be threats and enemies, which allowed her to do it. Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah. And that's the thing that I guess that is always so important to pay attention to what people are saying and doing, because perspective is everything. And I think that's why I didn't think that she was Black Aja during our watch parties and our initial run through of everything, is because I just always thought that Elida thought that she was doing the right thing, right? Like the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And I think that that sentiment embodies Elida completely. Not to mention she was also getting like mind flayed and shit too, if I'm not mistaken. But most importantly though, I just felt like she believed the shit that she was doing and saying and so on and so forth. So it's like, I think that's why during our watch parties, during all that, I never thought she was Black Aja. I just thought she was, burgundy. Like just just the evil red. I like that you as a watcher to reader have such a complete and vivid vision for what's on page. Yeah, bro, like it's kind of insane. And in that right, it's so impressive what they did with the show, because I like everything about the show setting is perfect. The things they did with that setting, is a little, it may not be perfect, but what the setting is and all of that, it's like, wow, like that's how I feel about it. It's like, wow, like being able to see everything through that lens, like even with Rand being in Tel'aran'rhiod and doing all that stuff, and each step that he takes is, boom, like it's just being taken to that place is incredible. Like, wow. Elida does believe that she has good intentions, but don't lots of dark friends think they're doing good? Yo, you are literally bro is just, he's like, hey, this might be the thing, but hey, maybe something's over here. Oh, hey, maybe this. Oh, maybe not. As if you don't know. As if you don't know. Don't mind me just doing my... Exactly. Yes, you are sowing a ton of doubt. That's hilarious. Bro's playing devil's advocate to his own sentiments that he's saying. Hey, I love it though. Season 3, episode 4 was the biggest triumph of adaptation for yeah, bro. Hey, I love that, bro. And then when you see the freaking war happen, and you just like, and then the freaking giant Death Star is dropping from the sky, and like, man, that was fantastic. Like that, yeah, Oscar worthy. Like I'm not gonna lie, I think that episode is literally on par with like this is on par with like Interstellar shit sometimes. Like that episode is like Interstellar levels of crazy shit going on. Like with each step going into the past and then living your life and all of that shit happening, and then the entire boar ripping, and like, and then bros being that, like, come on, son. Like, that was some interstellar level shit happening right there. Like, and the graphics were absolutely fantastic in that entire episode. Like, nothing looked bad in that episode. From start to finish, it looked incredible. Even when they were in the freaking giant Fortress of Solitude thing, and they were getting the orders from the Aes Sedai as all of the Tinkers were riding off with the freaking tree. Like, even that shit looked fantastic. Every single thing in that episode was beautiful. It was crazy. I said it before, but this show was biblical. Like, this show was biblical. It literally reminded me of the Bible reenactments when they're talking about like how you know, everybody had to put the blood of the lamb over the doorstep and shit like that. Like, that is the type of thing. That is the levels that it was, bro. Like, that, it was just crazy, bro. It was crazy. It was such a good episode. I watched that episode so many times. It's ridiculous. I want to watch that episode and put the book to the exact word. Wait, did I do that? Maybe I did do that. But like, it was no, I did that with Matt's POV when talking to the Fox dude. But I would like, wow. I need someone to actually take the book readings and put them to the show. Let's do that. Let's take Rosamund Pike reading the books and put it to the show frame by frame. Like, oh my goodness. Because it just went perfectly, bro. It was so cool to see and to hear all those different things. It was just, man. Oh my God. It was immaculate, man. It gets me so hyped to think about it, yo. Oh my goodness. Making me want to do that for real. Please do the episode by chapter for real. I might have to, because that was, it was fantastic. And I remember when we watched it, I remember when we did it live and we were listening to the book as we watched the moment in the show. It fit so well. It was almost like it was meant to be that way. It was crazy. It was crazy. Like, I wonder if you started episode 1 and started the book at the beginning, how good would all of that actually sync up? I mean, I know it wouldn't be the best because, I mean, the book is like 80 hours versus the 6 hours of the show. But, you know, I wonder how many of those moments sync up in that way. Yeah, that was a really good stream. That one, that show was good. That was a great show on that one. Actually fantastic. Alrighty, let's get it cracking and lacking. This is the last chapter of this segment. Man, let's get into it. Let's talk about it. Let's discuss it. Let's break it down. Let's get into
Chapter 48. An offer refused.
Yeah, baby. That's right. An offer refused.
Is that the kind of woman you like? Avienda said contemptuously. Rand looked down at her, striding along at Jayardian's stirrup in her heavy skirts, brown shawl doubled over her head. Big blue-green eyes flashed up at him from beneath her wide headscarf, as if she wished she still had the spear the wise ones had scolded her for taking up during the Trolloc attack. Sometimes it made him uncomfortable, her walking while he rode, but he had tried walking with her, and his feet were grateful for a horse. Occasionally, very occasionally, he had managed to get her to ride behind his saddle by complaining that he was getting a crick in his neck talking to her. Riding a horse did not exactly violate custom, it turned out, yet contempt for not using your own legs to carry you kept her afoot most of the time. One laugh from any of the Aiel, especially a maiden, even one looking the other way, was enough to have her off Jayardian in a flash. She is soft, Randall thought. Weak. He glanced back over at the box-like white wagon leading the peddler's train in a crooked, lurching snake across the dusty, broken landscape, escorted by Jindo maidens again today. Isendra was up with Kadir and the driver, seated on the heavy-set peddler's lap, her chin on his shoulder while he held a small blue silk parasol to shade her, and himself too, from the harsh sun. Even in a white coat, Kadir continually mopped his dark face with a large handkerchief, more affected by the heat than she, in her sleek, clinging gown that matched the parasol. Rand was not close enough to be sure, but he thought her dark eyes were on him above the misty scarf wrapped about her face and head. She usually seemed to be watching him. Kadir did not appear to mind. "I do not think Isendra is soft," he said quietly, adjusting the shuffa around his head. It did keep the broiling sun off after a fashion. He had resisted donning any more Aiel garb, no matter how much more suited to the climate than his red wool coat. Whatever his blood, whatever the marks on his forearms, he was not Aiel, and he would not pretend. Whatever he had to do, he could hang on to that scrap of decency. No, I would not say that. On the driver's seat of the second wagon, Fat Kayla and the gleeman Natail were arguing again. Natail had the reins, though he did not drive as well as the man who usually did the job. Sometimes they looked at Rand, too. Quick glances before diving back into their quarrel. But then everyone did. The long column of Jindo on the other side of him, the wise ones beyond them, with Moraine and Egwene and Lan. Among the more distant, thicker line of Shido, he thought heads turned toward him too. It did not surprise him now any more than it ever had. He was he who comes with the dawn. Everyone wanted to know what he would do. They would find out soon enough. "Soft," Avienda grunted. "Elaine is not soft. You belong to Elaine. You should not be caressing ice with this milk-skinned wench." She shook her head fiercely, muttering half to herself. "Our ways shock her. She could not accept them. Why should I care if she can? I want no part of this. It cannot be. If I could, I would take you Gaishan and give you to Elaine." Why should Isendra accept Aiel ways? The wide-eyed look she gave him was so startled he almost laughed. Immediately she scowled as if he had done something infuriating. Aiel women were surely no easier to understand than any others. "You are certainly not soft, Avienda." She should take it for a compliment. The woman was as rough as a honing stone sometimes. "Explain to me about the roof mistress again. If Ruark is clan chief of the Ta'ardad and chief of Cold Rock's hold, how is it that the hold belongs to his wife and not him?" She glowered at him a moment longer, lips working as she muttered under her breath, before answering, "Because she is roof mistress, you stone-headed wetlander. A man cannot own a roof any more than he can own land. Sometimes you wetlanders sound like savages. But if Liane is roof mistress of Cold Rocks because she is Ruark's wife, that is different. Will you never understand? A child understands." Taking a deep breath, she adjusted the shawl around her face. She was a pretty woman, except for looking at him most of the time as if he had committed some crime against her. What it might be, he did not know. White-haired Bear, leathery-faced and as reluctant to speak of Ruidian as ever, had finally, unwillingly, told him that Avienda had not visited the glass columns. She would not do that until she was ready to become a wise one. So why did she hate him? It was a mystery he would have liked an answer to. "I will attack it from another direction," she grumbled at him. "When a woman is to marry, if she does not already own a roof, her family builds one for her. On her wedding day, her new husband carries her away from her family across his shoulder, with his brothers holding off her sisters, but at the door, he puts her down and asks her permission to enter. The roof is hers. She can—" These lectures had been the most pleasant thing in the 11 days and nights since the Trolloc attack. Not that she had been willing to talk at first, beyond one more tirade on his supposed ill-treatment of Elaine, and later another embarrassing lecture meant to convince him Elaine was the perfect woman. Not until he mentioned to Egwene in passing that if Avienda would not even speak to him, he wished she would at least stop staring at him. Within the hour, a white-robed Gaishan man came for Avienda. Whatever the wise ones had to say to her, she returned in a quivering fury to demand that he let her teach him about Aiel ways and customs, no doubt in hope he would reveal something of his plans by the questions he asked. After the viperish subtleties of Tyr, the openness of the wise one spying was refreshing. Still, it was doubtless wise to learn what he could, and talking with Avienda could actually be enjoyable, especially on those occasions when she seemed to forget she despised him for whatever reason. Of course, whenever she realized they had begun to talk like two people instead of captor and captive, she did have a tendency to throw one of her white-hot outbursts, as though he had lured her into a trap.
Yo, I just love, I love how Avienda be set-tripping, yo. She's funny. I just like how she's like his liaison. I don't know why that makes me laugh, but it really does, bro, especially because she hates it. That's probably why it makes me laugh so much, because she hates being his liaison. But it's hilarious. Oh, man. Okay. For some reason, Rand got to start everything being all ostitious, suspicious, and creepy, talking about some they will find out soon enough. Come on, Rand, what are we doing? Why you gotta always sound like a borderline bad guy? Why are we playing? Why are we teetering on being a villain, Rand? Why do you say such things? Everybody wants to know what I'm doing. They'll find out soon enough. What the fuck was that? Hey, bud, you good? You good, bud? Because you don't sound good, bud. You know? Like, what are we talking about? What do you mean they'll find out soon enough, Rand? Brother, you're scaring me, bud. Hey, come talk to me. You know what I mean? Hey, come talk to me, bud. What's going on here? Bruh. Like, what? That was like, I am so interested in knowing what Rand's plan is, and if we have been doing Rand's plan this entire time and just did not know. If that's the case, whoa. Rand, you're a genius. You know what I mean? If everyone has been unknowingly working Rand's plan this entire time, that's going to be awesome. If he has set everything up perfectly and like knows exactly what Perrin is doing and also knows exactly what's going on with the girls, like if he has like spies and stuff going, if it's anything like that, then I am so for it. I am so for that. Because I love Rand being all sneaky and mysteriously. You know? Like, I really enjoy that. I have high hopes. I have high hopes for Rand. Like, well, you know, high hopes for Rand and his leadership and his sneakiness. Maybe I shouldn't have high hopes for him being sneaky, but I do. Like, I think he has some crazy grand plan going on, and I'm ready for that. I can't wait. Oh yeah. And Rand is still trying to figure out what the letter from Elaine meant. That is hilarious. That's hilarious, yo. That is hilarious to me that he's still trying to figure out what that letter meant, bro. Like, bro, the dudes are just so clueless, man. I forgot about that. That is so funny. He really likes men, which is something I kind of don't understand why they kept from us in the show. They kind of made Matt and Min like have a situationship instead. Maybe they didn't want to go for the whole, you know, like harem thing, you know what I mean? Because there's definitely some harem vibes going on with Rand and all the women in his life. Don't know what's up with that. I'm just saying what it is, you know, I'm just saying. I don't know if that's like something taboo to say, but bruh, it's getting very harem-y. It's getting very the Dragon Reborn harem-y. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how it's getting very. And I don't know why they didn't choose to go that way with the show. Like I understand. Maybe I understand why, because I mean, especially in this day and age, that probably wouldn't fly. But I feel like it's a very integral part to these books. Maybe I'm wrong, but the whole little like like the Dragon Reborn situationship stuff, I feel like every single one of those women are very integral to the story, to him, and to what's going on and why it's happening, right? I feel like all of those things, and I think it also kind of wraps into that Ta'Veren plot a little bit. I might be wrong, but that's just the vibe that it gives me, like, because everything is obviously connected, so why wouldn't these people be connected in this way as well, is kind of the vibe that it gives off. But I don't know. I don't know where it goes though, so I can't say whether it does make sense or doesn't make sense, especially here in the show. You know what I mean? The letters are the funniest thing ever, bro. I love that he keeps bringing them up. Like, if that's the case, then why would she say this? Like, and he's just so random almost every time he says it too. I'm certain they were going to still do that thing. Oh, do the thing that happens in the books. I think they just didn't want it to feel like they were all instantly attached to him. Okay. That makes sense. Like, I understand what you're saying in that sense. Like, let everybody kind of fall for him rather than they're just immediately, Rand, who's that guy? Who's that? You know what I mean? Like, 'cause that's the vibe that it definitely gives off. But like I said, I feel like it's very integral to happen for all the things that are going on. I mean, he keeps having visions of all these women together and everything. I feel like, I don't know what that leads to, but I feel like whatever it is, it's big. And I can't wait to, I still don't know if all of those women are, I don't know if all three of those women are the ones that we know. You know? I don't know. You know, I don't know. But I am, again, I am very interested in what's going on there. I feel like the whole harem is a mystery itself. Like, I feel like that shit's a mystery itself, bro. Cause I don't know what's going on there, and I keep getting confused. And he's like, "Oh, Min, Elaine, and then this other secret woman that we really don't know who it is." And then Egwene is watching from the bushes. I'm like, bro, what? What the hell is this? Rand, what are your dreams, dog? What are your dreams? I can't remember if we know who the third woman is or not. No, I don't think we know who the other woman is yet. Because it's like they teased it of being the one chick that Fail doesn't like. I can't think of her name. Oh, her name is like Naked Eve or something, right? Isn't her name something? Bear Lane. That's what her name is. Bear Lane. Like, it was kind of teased there because, like, it was like, who is this woman? And then in the next, I think it was like the next chapter, Bear Lane got introduced. And then there was like another woman that has been kind of spoken about. I think she actually ended up being the other bird though on Perrin's shoulder, because Fael was like the falcon or whatever, and then there was another bird on his shoulder, and I think that's Bear Lane. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out. Still trying to put all the puzzle pieces together. Oh, and then they also started teasing. I feel like that's what happened in this chapter, is they were teasing that maybe it's Avienda that is in his dreams with Min and Elaine. You know what I mean? Maybe that's who it is. That's what it made me think, is like, oh, maybe she's the secret girl. But I know she's digging Elaine, but I don't know if that means she's digging Rand, but she also is always staring at Rand. So I just had a lot of questions, and I was a little confuzzled there as well. And then they did amazing world building and lore catch up from Rand's POV. I really enjoyed the way that they did that, and just kind of like, oh yeah, don't forget that this, that, and that, and this, and that, and that, and this, you know. Rafe did say that they were still going to do it. They were just going to make it feel better. That's good. Because in the book, it doesn't feel great. It does feel a little harem-y, and I don't like that. You know what I mean? It does feel... That's how it starts to feel, you know? It doesn't feel the greatest. And then especially with like how the like with how they're portrayed, like I don't know, man. Maybe you know what I mean? Maybe that's that's kind of one of the only things that's like, this is interesting, you know, because it definitely gives harem vibes. And then of course you have the Aiel being in like, you know, the Aiel waist, and then they kind of have a vibe, you know. They kind of have a vibe to them. So, you know, the whole combination's very interesting, not gonna lie, but, you know, I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be, I feel like they're teasing it in the book in a way that is right now, doesn't feel the best, but I think it might still be okay, okay once we get to that point. Right? You know, once it starts heading out of harem-y and starts going to more poly, I guess that's what that's what it's like. All right, brother, we're in a good lane now. Let's get away from that weird vibe. Okay, Moiraine is still trying to figure out how to deal with both sides of everything that's going on. I think Moiraine is just confused, man. I like seeing Moiraine not know what's going on, though. Can't lie to you. Because for so long, she's been pulling the proverbial strings. And it's like, oh yeah, bruh. Now now your strings are getting pulled a little bit. And she doesn't like it. She's like, bruh, she's nervous about Rand. I would be nervous about Rand, too. So, you know. I would, you know, you know what I'm saying? RJ was in a poly relationship. That's what it comes from. Dude, so RJ was just writing about his life. Hey, so my dog Robert Jordan was just writing about life, man. hey, shout out to that guy. Yo, that's crazy. That's crazy. It seems like all of the things that have the biggest light shined on them in some way are directly connected to him in some type of way as well. And I appreciate that. But I understand why it started off feeling harem-y. I don't think that's, I feel like it's purposeful. As well. Like, I feel like the whole Dragon Reborn thing, I feel like all of that is very purposeful. And like I said, once it starts moving from that to polyamorous instead of harem-y, once it gets more polyish rather than harem-ish, that's where we can draw a good line in the sand between the two things, right? You don't know yet? Oh, so I don't know who the third person is yet? Egad, I didn't know that. Okay, cool. Cool. I will keep my eyes open. That's such a good point, Thatch. I always forget that it's so hard to think that this is old like that because it's so relevant to modern day issues, modern day thoughts, and everything. Like, bro was mad progressive for his time. Like, Robert Jordan was way ahead of his time with all the stuff that he has in these books. Like even the POV of like women and all of that type of stuff, like all of that is so, I feel like that's foreign to have from a man from like an older dude. It's not like you know what I'm saying? Like, this is someone that was already an adult in the 90s, not like born in the 90s or coming of age in the 90s. Like, bro was a grown man and he was writing all of these characters and all of these POVs with so much care and so much detail and so much, like, attention to the care and the detail. It's very impressive. It is very impressive, especially with how well it translates to now. Like, that is so freaking impressive, bro. Oh, when I said you don't know who they are yet, I'm not saying you haven't met them. Oh, okay. All right, that's fine. That's fine. I low-key think it's Avienda. I really do think it's Avienda. I do. RJ had a varied life experience and perspective. Yeah, man. He did. He definitely makes me want to write more close to home, if that makes sense. You might not have met them. I'm not playing this game with you, Thatcher. I'm not doing it. I'm not playing your game. I'm not doing it. I refuse. I refuse to be. Oh my goodness. I'm not getting hornswoggled. Pause. Oh, and then we also find out that Egwene has passed the Wise One test, and she now has her hair down. It's out. It's full, blowing in the wind, and I love that. I like that. A good way to show us that some time has passed, and a great way to show us that she's been working. You know what I mean? Like, let me see it, you know? Kadir constantly trying to talk to Rand is weird. Yeah, yeah, I agree, past me. That is weird. It's funny because sometimes I leave questions for myself and then I read it and I'm like, yeah, you know what? You're right, me. You were right to question that at the time. um... on the point of the personal thing, I think they're going to show up in your writing whether you want it to or not. The themes that are important to you are the themes that have impacted your life. Holy shit. What a profound thing to say. I guess that's a very good important. I guess that's so damn, bro. Damn. Damn. I gotta be honest, yo. Themes? Theme has to be one of, I don't know why I can't, like, my brain doesn't get theme, but I can understand everything about the theme. But my brain doesn't be like, so that is what the theme is. Does that make sense? It's like I know all of the makeups, but my brain doesn't be like 2 + 2 = theme. It's like, I know that this is this, I know that that is that, but I don't get the solution of that being, that means this is the theme. I don't know why, bro. I don't know why. And I've been that way since I was a kid. I've always been really good at writing. Like, even, like, I remember, like, getting really good grades on anything that was, like, written word, or I had to do any type of story or any of that. But I could never, like, break down said story and be like, yo, okay, well, this is I could never do that part of it, but I could always make the outcome, but I could never show my work, essentially. I don't know why. I could never show the work. I guess that's the best thing that I could say. I could never show the work, but I could always know. I could make that product time and time again. I could be like, yo, here's a story, or here's this, or here's that, and then someone can read it and be like, wow, I really love the way that and I'm like, yeah, exactly, but I didn't know that that's what that meant when I did that, you know? Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Maybe it doesn't. It's like it's like I autopilot the theme, but I can't be like, oh yeah, bro, here's the outline of that. Like, I can't write an outline to save my life, but I can write a full fucking novel. My bad. But I can write a full, I mean, you know what I mean? But I can't get the outline of, oh yeah, this is what takes place in chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I just kind of type it all out as I go. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what that is, but that's just what it is. And I've never been able to, you know, get that. I'm like, yeah, I don't know why, but it's just, yeah, man. It'd be like that. Like, it's impossible not to feel RJ's Vietnam experience in his writing, but he admit, whoa. Oh, really? Okay. Oh, wow. That's intense. That's just instinct versus experience. That is a good way to put that. I understand exactly what you mean. That's evidence of your point. You feel it, and it's in your writing, and no matter if you recognize it. Yeah. Yeah. And that's what a good editor is for, to tighten stuff up for you. Okay. All right, I feel that. I feel you there. I like the words you're using. I feel that. That actually helps me so much, because I feel like writing is the one place I get a lot of imposter syndrome at more than anything else. Because I know that I don't know those things. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm writing and I'm doing the stuff, and then I can't be like, oh yeah, this is you know what I mean? I'd be like, damn, bro, do I even know what I'm doing then? Because but like you said, it's just instinctual. It's not, there's nothing behind, that as well. You know what I mean? Damn, okay. You've opened my mind to a big block that I have had, so I appreciate that. Having an editor can help me recognize theming and stuff. Okay. The back and forth with readers and editors is crucial to the process. Okay. I'm with you. Harriet spoke a lot about working things through with RJ, and Harriet was his editor. Okay. Cool. So I just need. All right. And it's not like I need some editor that's like well versed in fantasy or anything, right? I just need someone that can come through and be like, all right, buddy, I like what you're doing here. Oh, yeah, his wife. I forget that his wife is also his editor. That is so dope. I'm going to have to make Remy be my editor. We're like, yo, babe. Check this out. Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you, G. That really helped my brain so much. That helped my brain so freaking much. It's crazy. Wow. That's that's insane how much, like, you cleared so much from my brain. I can't wait to start writing now. I gotta write now, because, bro, what? Just write it. Just write it and talk with it. Hell yeah. But doubling back, Kadir a freak. Like, she a freakazoid. I could not agree with you more. Man, I gotta talk. Yeah, bro. Let's definitely lock in. We haven't talked in a minute, huh, bro? It's definitely been a little second. I'm gonna DM you, bruh. Bro. Boom. Low key, I forgot too, man. Damn, we were to the last time we talked was around this time last year. That's crazy. I fell off too. Bro. It's not just you. I fell off too. I started focusing on another comic that I was making, a Sovereign Impact and stuff. You know what I mean, bro? Like, but yeah, we gotta definitely lock in. We gotta lock in. And then I started writing another story, and then I started making the TCG and a whole bunch of stuff, yo. I started making a TCG for everything, and then that's right. And then I started making that show. But you know, I be trying to figure out how to do a bunch of stuff so that way I know how to do it. And that's what so I'll be like, okay, let me see if I can do this. Let me see if I can do this. And that was one of the big reasons why I made Unnatural Selection, is because I just wanted to see if I could do it. And my wife has always told me, like, yo, you could do voiceovers and all this. So I was like, yo, let me try that out. And then doing that, though, made me want to really voice my comic type thing. Like, use my comic that I've been having made and, like, read my own story and, like, you know, do that. So it's so crazy how all these things will be connected to each other. You know, everything is connected in one way or another. You know? Dip your toes into everything to get a sense of how it works to make something bigger with others. Great for collaboration. Yeah, exactly. I've been in the process of basically like building a media company type of vibe. And so like I literally just started dipping my, like you just said, dip my toes in everything so I could get a sense of how it works. And I'm the type of person that wants to know. I'm the type of person that's not going to talk about something unless I know what I'm talking about, at the very least. And I guess that's also circles back to why I have that imposter syndrome with writing, right? It's because I know that I don't know, and I'm the type of person, if I don't know, I'm not going to do the thing I don't know about. You feel me? So it kind of, so I end up trapping myself and putting myself in a box with shit like that. But also it's like a strength as well, because then I'll dive into everything. Like, I started making the trading card game. Literally, I had to dive into 4 different types of aspects to even do that, right? Like, I had to start learning how to do the Google Sheets a little bit more, or just, you know, the sheets, period. And the Excel forms, if you will, like just trying to like learn how to do that a little bit more for all the abilities and keeping tracks of card rarities and card types. And then also when I was making the card, I learned how to do something new to make the design of the card look dope, because I'm doing every aspect of all this stuff. So everything is linking to something else to teach me something new. And I freaking love that. And then while doing the TCG and trying to make the trading card game, it ended up helping me write my story a little bit better and changing and fine-tuning some stuff with that. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's so much going down. So I'm really trying to lock in. See, I'm so behind. I didn't know anything about a card game. I haven't really talked about it in like a public way at all too much. I that one's been more under wraps. But yeah. I'll show you a little bit of that. Show you a little bit of that. You know? Yeah, man. Definitely been building. I got the rule book here for stuff too. I got the rule book for the TCG. Yeah, man. I've been working on some stuff, brother. I've been working on some stuff. We're gonna have to lock in. We're gonna have to lock in. We're going to have to lock in, my guy. Yeah. We'll lock in, Thatch. We'll lock in for sure. Studying card game mechanics must be cool. Yeah, it's actually lit. Actually, again, studying the card game mechanics and figuring out how those mechanics work have literally helped me tailor the magic systems better. Because I'm like, oh wait, if this is overpowered in the game, then maybe it would be overpowered in that universe as well, or, you know, and vice versa. Like, with little abilities that happen or little potions or whatever the hell it is, you know, because it's so many different layers of what's going on. So it's definitely been cool to do that and to see how all of those things interconnect with each other. Okay. Doubling back. We got Natale, who wants to also get in. Like, we have all of the merchants that were just, you know, randomly stranded in the Io Waste. Every single one of them want a piece of Rand for one reason or another. And some of them want a literal piece of Rand, and some of them want a piece of Rand. You feel me? So it's like, yo, there's so much going on. There is just so much going on. And I love that. I love that. And in the midst of all of this, Rand is continuously hinting to his big idea, but we don't know what the hell that big idea is. And then I also wrote, it's hilarious to think how crazy he must seem to laugh out loud randomly. And that's very true, because Rand will just be chilling and be like, and then everybody be like, what the fuck? Hey, what's up with your boy, Rand? I think that's hilarious, bro. I think that's hilarious. So that's gonna be going down there, and then obviously my last note here is Matt is still in denial, and of course he is. And of course he is. It's funny because I never thought about I never thought about Rand's random laughing. Like, his random laughing is never, like, it just never came to my mind how concerning that would truly be. Like, for your boy you're with to start randomly laughing hysterically. That would definitely be mad concern. And you know that he's gonna be, and you know he's losing his mind slowly. It's not like he's just laughing. He's also slowly losing grip on reality. And that laughing is a key note feature of him losing his sanity. Brother. He's not in a good spot at all. He is not in a good spot at all. He needs help. He needs help, for sure. Man, what a good chapter. What a good section, you guys. I just really enjoy this book so much, and I can't believe we're about to come to an end with it. It is almost, it's shocking that we are at the end of this book. I know we should have been finished with it, but it's still so shocking that we're even here. You know, like the fact that we're even this far into it alone, and we're about to be at the end, and it's just crazy, yo. It's crazy. It's crazy. We're about to be 4 books down. With more to go. A lot more to go, mind you. Absolutely crazy. All right. Let's see. Let's run this one.
Cheese balls, cheese balls, cheese balls.
Where the f*** are my cheese balls? See what I'm saying? I know you're in my f***ing cheese balls again.
No, I didn't.
Have you ever thought about how it would feel to be one giant sock in the dryer?
No, sorry, I don't think I have.
One sock being left in the dryer would be a bad thing, you know? Forcing its pair to roam lonely without its match. But one giant sock's only match is the foot that will embrace its cozy warmth, fresh out of the dryer, toasty, and never alone.
Shroomy never truly dies, for on the day of my reckoning, I will be reborn as a part of the Hive Mind Collective on Shroom Prime, and all of the weaknesses of your planet will be quickly analyzed, and then the expansion will commence. Folding and scrunching,
Scrunching and folding, folding and scrunching, scrunching and folding, folding and scrunching.
I'm Rupert Luther Marlinson, Senior Executive of the Turtle Club. Here to defend and protect all in need.
Express delivery when your delivery is expressed.
I'm standing right here, you itchy. Why the hell you still knocking?
Kid Rock, please help me.
That's your free.
A natural selection, 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 a natural selection.
Shroomy Rum Doomy.
All right. We are back. I hope everybody is having a fantastic day today. Thank you all for tuning in for this episode of a book club where we covered chapters 43 through 48 of The Wheel of Time, The Shadow Rising. What a time it's been today, and I definitely appreciate you guys. You've made it. Thank you for my guy Thatcher for coming through. I know this early time is different. Shout out to everybody who will probably be watching on the replay. I appreciate y'all as well. I know this early time is wild. I'll try to, make it a better time next week, hopefully. But later today, I will be going live in like 2-3 hours at Comic Book Clubhouse doing our live coverage of New Comic Book Day in store. So make sure you guys are ready for that, tuning in, showing your love, all that good stuff. And I'm excited to get into it. Ain't nothing to it but to do it because Wednesdays are New Comic Book Days. And I hope everybody has a wonderful Wheelie Wednesday indeed. Make sure you follow all of the channels in the Marvel Bros Network, and I appreciate you guys for tuning in and vibing out with us. We are going to be doing a whole bunch of stuff coming in the future. Discord's coming back full featured, and it's going to be better than ever, hopefully. We're going to have all that stuff synced and ready to go. Patreon is going to be on and popping starting in April as well. We're going to have everything flowing the way that it needs to be for all of the Brovengers here, okay? So we definitely appreciate all the love, all the support from you guys over the years. Not to mention, I think Marvel Bros' birthday is coming up real soon. Marvel Bros' birthday is Monday, actually. Marvel Bros' birthday is on Monday. That's crazy. So we're gonna be celebrating, doing something next Monday. Who knows what? It might just be a full day of Marvel Bros just nerding out, talking about a bunch of stuff. Maybe we can do some rankings, a little trivia, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, and just kind of vibing and nerding out here on the channel. Okay, guys? So with all that being said, you've been amazing today. I appreciate each and every one of you. Make sure you drop a like and a share on the stream because it helps out tremendously around these parts. Like I said, don't forget to get ready for our follow-up stream that we're going to be dropping in a little while, where we will be doing New Comic Book Day coverage live from Comic Book Clubhouse. I hope to see you guys next week for our next episode of From Watcher to Reader here on the channel. We are almost at the end of the road, y'all. We're almost at the end of the road with this book. I mean, we are at the end of the road. Next week is the last segment of the book, and we're going to be finishing it, man. That's crazy to think about. That's crazy to know. So I'm ready for it, and I hope all of you guys are too. And with all that being said, stay awesome, stay nerdy, and don't forget to stay marvelous. Excelsior. Say bye.
If you guys would like to support Marvel Bros, all you gotta do is visit our website at www.markbros.com and buy some merch. Represent the superfan.
Or you can join our Patreon to get early access to content, patron-only scoops, giveaways, private Q&As, and those sacred watch parties.
We appreciate you guys. We'll catch you on the next one.
Excelsior.
On today's pop culture news update,